awesome. That's why I bought 2 cases.
Hitting the start buttons.
Go for it. I, on the other hand, like, the chases are self-evident, but one of them I want so much that I need to put in my top 3. So I'm not gonna stay away from. They might all 3 be chases, but there's only one I'm gonna particularly highlight.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, I think mine is a given. So
I wonder. I mean, obviously, it stands to reason, but yeah, go ahead.
But there's multiple choices in that category.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's really which of them truly is the one you were most salivating for.
Probably revolutionary.
All right.
I mean, it may not be God. I mean, maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you want classic. Maybe you want something that feels way more classic. I don't know.
Why speculate when we can get right to it?
Right.
We're live right now. I am joined this week by Tom.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And, it's Fantastic Four figure review time. I don't have anything to say about the Kilted Clicks Classic. Yeah, or Critical Click Kilted Classic, because I haven't played my round 3 game yet. I'm going to be playing it tomorrow, so we'll be on live stream. And a quick channel update before I get everything started, and now this is happening. My wireless mouse has decided that now is the time to get low on battery, so I got to quickly get a USB cable attached to an external battery for rescue, because all my USB ports are taken.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Anyway, so my game will be live on Tuesday. And a quick channel note, we kind of got a little low on content this week. Editing fell behind. So to kind of make up for it, me and Amber are going to have a little bit of a live stream later on this week, talking about how she's kind of adapting to this new era of meta. That said, I'm done being boring. Let's go to Clixnexus.com. Bam! Let's start looking at the Fantastic Four set, starting with figure number 001, Mr. Fantastic. Obviously he's the first in the common slot. He's 40 points. He's got 4 range Fantastic Four team ability. He's got the Celebrity, Fantastic Four, and Scientist keywords. He's got the In the Beginning trait. Mr. Fantastic increases his attack roll by +1 for each 4 in the finalized attack roll. And the special defense power on his last click, Together We Stand, which is super senses, stop, but only if there's another friendly character with a Fantastic Four keyword within 4 squares. Tom, your thoughts on this, Mr. Fantastic?
Well, he's a thumbs down for me. In this case, we were my particular scale when we do these piece by pieces is to give a thumbs up if it's a piece that may be worth keeping in mind for future reference, whether it be an automatic go-to or just a back of your mind for some future purpose, or a thumbs down if it's probably not going to come up except in casual games. So for me, it falls into the latter category. This is one of those weird characters who sort of leads from the front, which is a unique combination, tie down and leader. But it's not a combination I've ever really wanted. It is very Mr. Fantastic. This style is super Mr. Fantastic. If you can build a Fantastic Four theme team, then the stop click is certainly nice to have. But if not, then he's not doing much. And even on your Fantastic Four team, it does seem like there's a lot of better options that we'll be getting as we go. So he's a perfectly fine little package for 40 points. I certainly can't knock the value, but he's not one that I think I'll ever think of again for that reason.
All right, Mike?
I would normally agree with Tom. I have to put an asterisk only because, as a reminder of something we previewed already, a couple of the different characters have that sort of rearranging your team build with the sort of swapping in those Fantastic Four keyworded characters. So this character has a small segment of value being a 40-point leader figure with Fantastic Four as a potential swap-in piece. You know what I'm saying? As a rebuilding piece at those 40 points. You have to look at it as a potential at that, because you got to rejig your team.
Yeah, admittedly, I am kind of skipping over that because I do think that makes sense, but
that's going to be I'm just going to sort of say, little star, little asterisk for that. But I agree, everything else, I would give it a thumbs down.
Could be a bluff piece. See what you're saying. All right. Speaking of that ability, figure number 2, the Invisible Woman, 40 points, Fantastic Four team ability, 4 range, Celebrity, Fantastic Four, Lady Liberators keywords, In the Beginning trait, which we just discussed with Ms. Fantastic, form the new Fantastic Four. At the beginning of the game, you may replace up to 4 friendly characters with the same number of characters from your sideline on their starting clicks. All replacement and replaced characters must have the Fantastic Four keyword and different names. The total points of the replacement characters can't exceed the total points of the replaced characters. And Together We Stand, which gives her defend and stop on the last click. Mike, your thoughts on the Invisible Woman?
I'm going to give her a thumbs up because of the trait to be able to bring in other characters. She's a 40-point TK figure, so she's at least got a useful support power that way. Plus, she can be a taxi with stealth. And we're sort of making an assumption that in most cases I'm going to play her on a Fantastic Four named theme team. So her stop click is most likely going to be active. So a 40-point figure with a stop click with that TK both on the stop click with a solid defensive value. So yeah, I got to give her a thumbs up, and especially for the form, the new Fantastic Four trait.
All right, Tom?
Yeah, huge thumbs up. Literally everything about this piece is good. The enhancement, defend, TK opening is just such a deal for 40 points that I would even play her off of a Fantastic Four team. But on a Fantastic Four team, she's a given.
Yeah. All right, next up, figure number 3, Human Torch. Come on. All right, Human Torch, 6 range to Fantastic Four and the Spider-Man team ability, 40 points, Celebrity Fantastic Four and Spider-Man family keywords. He's got the in the beginning trait, and his Together We Stand gives him energy shield and stop on his last click. His last click having Psychic Blast, his first click having energy explosion. This is that kind of, if I use the Mr. Fantastic as my bluff piece, and I see that my opponent has like a bystander focus or anything like that, that's kind of the option I have for the Human Torch. But for the most part, like as a general rule, with the exception of like that idea that we might use, he's a general thumbs down, with the exception that he could be a replacement for a bluffed out Mr. Fantastic if that's the goal you're going for. Tom?
Yeah, he's a thumbs down for me too. Not because he's a bad piece, but because he's not good enough at anything to make me want to play him over a number of different pieces in that point bracket.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I call him a thumbs down. Basically, a non-main force Human Torch, possible sideline for the trait, but definitely thumbs down other than that.
Yeah. All right. Figure number 4, The Thing. 40 points, Fantastic Four team ability, Celebrity Fantastic Four, Monster, and Soldier keywords. In the beginning trait, as well as Together We Stand, which gives him impervious on his last click. Tom, what do you think of The Thing?
It's one of these weird instances where it is a thumbs down with a caveat that I'll play him 100% of the time in sealed because he just has so many things that are good for that. And for the most part, I guess I should have caveated earlier, sealed is a different game, and almost everything in the set will have its place. So we're not going to talk a lot about it today because I think it kind of stands to reason that 80% of the time you'll be able to make use of these things, but you make particular use of this guy. Nevertheless, like he's a better deal than the rest with the Indomitable and the upfront shape change, but he is still just a plodding brick, and even a cheap one is still a plodding brick.
Yeah. Mike, anything you want to add? Or?
I was just going to say, I guess, in regards to sealed, I wasn't really considering it because of our weird time, and I don't know if we're really going to get an opportunity to have a sealed event with this set at all. But other than that, thumbs down. And honestly, he's even more of a thumbs down as my call-in thing with the Fantastic Four ability, because he's just, I don't know, he feels a little weak to me. I mean, I love the shape change, but anyway, thumbs down.
Just a quick reminder, if anybody's just tuning in right now, a thumbs down is not necessarily never going to use it. It's just thumbs down for the competitive game.
Yeah, definitely. We have to be a little bit harsher than usual, or else we'd be giving a thumbs up to 9/10 of the set. Because frankly, they don't make bad pieces anymore in Heroclix. They just make exceptional ones and decent ones. Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of decent ones are going to get a bit of a kick in this setting.
Well, this is like an appropriately costed, themed out thing.
Yeah.
So great for fun, but
yeah. I think if you're looking for that more positive, like about everything, I do have that piece by piece that'll do under camera with the figures in hand once I open up my stuff. Obviously not coming from an unboxing from WizKids with everything going on right now, but we will be opening our boxes this week. We'll probably do a live stream of that, to be honest. So anyway, moving on, we have the Doombot, figure number 5. 15 points with the Minions of Doom team ability, 5 range, armor, Latveria robot keywords. He's got special damage power on both his clicks. For all characters with this power, when a friendly character with a Latveria and Ruler keywords would be targeted by an opponent's attack or use of Outwit or Perplex, you may roll a d6. On a 4 to 6, that opponent chooses an untargeted Doombot to become the target instead. The new target must be legal, and you don't choose a power for a wit until after a new target is chosen. Mike, what do you think of the Doombot?
I gotta give him a thumbs up because obviously works really well with Doom. There is some potential there on I guess you really can't put him on a ruler keyworded team because of the fact that he doesn't have ruler keyword. It just feels like there's got to be some merit there to a potential 15-point figure with robot, with Latveria, with armor, with the trait that he's got. Though I can't forget about Superman and Brainiac from Justice League Unlimited, so it kind of puts almost another asterisk on this figure. But I still got to give it a thumbs up.
All right, Tom?
Agreed. He's a thumbs up. Just because there are a few figures that are even cheaper and even better doing a similar thing doesn't necessarily get past the fact that he's 15 points for a taxi and a capable attacker, even if you're not using a special.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% value on this figure. And again, extra value if you have somebody who's a ruler and Latveria keyword. All right, next up, figure number 6, Nova. Fantastic Four team ability, 50 points, 6 range, 2 targets, Fantastic Four and Politician keywords, traded with 2 hot to touch, which gives her poison. This is cool, but again, falls under that. I'm not seeing myself playing this in the competitive game. It's a good figure, but not good enough, just appropriately costed sort of situation. Tom?
Yeah, agreed. It's a thumbs down for me, but only because of the fact that, again, it's not doing anything special enough to make me warrant putting it onto my meta teams. I'm looking forward to getting one all the same.
Yeah. Mike?
No offense to the Frankie Ray fans out there, but I think this is a perfect representation of the figure, and thus I have no interest in ever.
Oh, man. Amber didn't hear that, I hope. I don't think she's a Frankie Ray fan anyway. All right, next up, the
no one is.
Skrull Infiltrator. 4 range, Skrull team ability, 20 points. Skrull and Spy keywords, ignores hindering for movement. Assume your form is his trait. Free if this character hasn't been moved or placed this turn. Choose a standard opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire that has not been chosen for this effect this turn. Both players roll d6. If your result is higher, place Skrull Infiltrator and the chosen character in each other's squares. Tom, what do you think of the Skrull Infiltrator?
Quick little bit of calculation on this. If you had a 100% chance of succeeding at hitting the 17 defense there, that would still get net dropped down to approximately an average of about 34% or 35%, just by the combination of Skrull, Enhanced Shape Change, and Super Senses. I don't know how you don't give that a thumbs up. What an outstanding, annoying tie-up and stealth shielding piece when you've got that kind of protection.
All right, Mike?
Especially with stealth, which is almost like a protected light, as it were. You know, unless you ignore hindering for line of fire, you're not going to be able to outwit either the shape change or that super senses. It's 20 points for that. The character ignores hindering. It's a Skrull. It goes into my slot for most wanted common in the set. Because I love Skrulls and I want a whole bunch of these Skrulls. They're going to be a lot of fun. I don't know about that trait, honestly, really pulling off too often, but I don't care. I'll try it. It'll be fun when it works. These guys are going to be annoying to kill. Oh, I'm so happy with the Skrulls already. Thank you, WizKids.
I do have to say that Skrull, that trait is no risk, all reward. You can all of a sudden it's like you're near my team now. I gave 20 points. Go try to kill that. I'm going to take this 70-point character and try to murder him now.
Yeah, it forces your opponent to a decision.
Yeah.
Plus spy keyword.
Yeah.
Okay, we just had a Black Widow set. These guys are fantastic. What a wonderful time. Best generic ever.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not ever, but I love them. But I love them.
Speaking of great generics, let's move on next to the Moloid. Underworld team ability, 10 points. Ignores hindering for movement. Is tiny and has a special movement power. Destroy the surface dweller cities. Plasticity, sidestep, stealth. Power, if Moloid and another friendly character named Moloid are adjacent to the same piece of blocking terrain, destroy it, then remove an action token from both of them. Mike, what do you think of the Moloid?
Is it just me, or is this another amazing generic?
It's not just you.
Are you kidding me? 10 points, carrying each other, sidestep, stealth, underworld, enhancement, tiny, monster keyword. Like, oh my god. I really, really want to make a team with 50-point Captain Venom that's a named monster theme team. full of moloids, just tons and tons of moloids. Oh my god. Wow. What is up, WizKids? That's too hot generic. Woo! Love it. Thank
Tom?
you.
Agreed. Big thumbs up. What a value.
Yeah. I think the only low point for me is that the plasticity's on a tiny size character. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm already over it.
So quickly.
Yeah.
So good.
All right. Oh my god. I'm at war with my mouse. I'm sorry here. Ah! All right. Come on, baby.
Sounds
Give me
like
the
a
love.
Catastrophe. Wow.
It's a nightmare. Next up, Spider-Man. 75 points, 5 range, 2 targets. Fantastic Four and Spider-Man team abilities. Fantastic Four reporter, scientist, Spider-Man family keywords. Ignores characters elevated and hindering for movement. A new kind of fantastic teamwork. When Spider-Man hits with a close attack until your next turn, other friendly characters with Fantastic Four keyword can use ignores elevated, hindering, and characters for movement. And the new Fantastic Four, Passenger 1, but only to carry characters with the Fantastic Four keyword. Once per turn, when Spider-Man is carried and placed adjacent to 2 or more opposing characters after resolutions, he may make a close attack. This Fantastic Four thing looks really cool, and everything about it is really exciting. There's everything I'm reading here is great, and unfortunately, it's on a 75-point character without Indomitable. I want to like this more, but because it's sitting in the common slot, it's going to be appropriately costed, and as a result, it's going to be great in casual games, great in sealed. This one in particular, not really selling me yet on constructed, but I'm also cold reading on all these guys with the new kind of fantastic teamwork. So if I see more and see where they're kind of going, I might be a little bit more excited about them. But that's where I sit on this particular Spider-Man. Tom, what do you say?
Yeah, I got to give it a thumbs down. I have a general policy that says if I spend more time reading your power than using it, then you're probably not a piece that I want to have on my team. And that's just it. It is a bit situational in all cases, and they're kind of trying to perform smoke and mirrors to draw your attention away from the fact that you're spending 75 points for a fairly low swing, no willpower piece with relatively low damage output who has nothing really special about them besides mobility. Sorry.
I'm really on the line with this figure. I totally agree about the 75 points. It's a really hard pill to swallow, and the lack of willpower. I think there has to be some potential there to the fact that his 2 traits can work together with him being carried. Right? He gets carried and gets dropped next to 2 opposing characters, and then he makes close attack. And now, if he's successful with that close attack, all the rest of the Fantastic Four keyword figures are going to have improved movement, ignoring all the really good stuff, especially ignoring characters. So I have to think that there's a niche there to be able to put him on a team with other Fantastic Four guys. But the 75 points means, personally, I don't think I would be investigating that. And the fact that he himself, with running shot, can't pull off that trait or activating that trait because he won't be making a close attack with that. So this is why I say I think somebody somewhere possibly can enjoy those traits together with the right build. Personally, I think the 75 points puts him a bit out of what you sort of want to invest.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, figure number 10, the Red Hulk. Come on. This is the best
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash Jason's mouse. Jeez Louise. All right, figure number 10, the Red Hulk. He's playable at 75 or 50 points. The 50-point starting line is his last 4 clicks. So, 75 points or 50 points. Team player, which is wildcard. Avengers, Codex, Fantastic Four, Intelligentsia, and Soldier keywords. Circle of 4 is the trait. If Hulk hasn't been moved or placed this turn, modify attack and damage +1. And then his Angrier and Hotter trait. When Red Hulk takes damage from an opponent's attack, give him an anger token, maximum 2. When Red Hulk makes a close attack and has an anger token, modified damage +1. And after resolutions, remove an anger token. If Red Hulk has 2 anger tokens, he deals penetrating damage, including with poison. He has poison across the entire dial. Tom, thoughts on the Red Hulk?
This is the hardest one yet by a fair margin. I'm going to have to cheat a little bit and give him a thumb sideways because the jury is still out for me. I think that he's, again, like he's got a nice dense dial of reducers, but they will all turn into wet tissue paper with the application of Outwit. And past the first click, they'll all turn to wet tissue paper with penetrating damage as well. His anger token effect is great, but he's more likely to be dead than able to use it, unless your opponent isn't very smart. His first trait about being able to stay in place to get an attack and damage bonus is also great, but it just, again, is very hard to pull off, and the lack of willpower just kills me. No one wants to stand next to a guy with poison, let alone a guy who's going to get better if you keep standing next to him. So by all means, just get away. He doesn't have plasticity until the end of his dial, and getting up there in the first place could be a pain, but he's got great stats, and he's got leadership. Poison is super effective, and the anger token thing might work well enough. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about him. He's a thumb sideways.
Mike?
I had to go thumbs down because of the lack of willpower and 75 points. Like, I mean, if he had willpower, I'd be excited because, you know, those traits could be really useful. But it's just there's no Indomitable, no willpower, and he's just going to get smoted, and that's 75 points. So, no.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about this one either. I'm going to put it on the down just on the constructed, and because the 50-point version is a puddle in constructed play. All right, next up, figure number, I don't know how to read numbers, 11. Wolverine. This is the X-23 Laura Kinney. Fantastic Four and X-Men team abilities, 40 points, 4-click dial that we see here. Fantastic Four, Shield, Weapon X, X-Force, X-Men keywords. 4 Shield Beast Hunters when, ignores hindering for movement. The 4 Shield Beast Hunters trait, when Wolverine is given a move action, after resolutions, remove an action token from her, and she can use stealth until your next turn. Mike, your thoughts on Wolverine?
I got to give her a thumbs up. One, because I think that trait's pretty cool for getting her into position. She's got 10 movement, ignoring hindering. So for sure she's going to want to go into hindering. And then, boop, she's got some stealth. If you happen to have ignores hindering terrain for line of fire to see through her stealth, well, hey, I got ESD on my defense. So that's a lot of good stuff.
I think she's got combat reflexes.
Oh, is that what that's supposed to be?
Is that it?
Yeah.
It looks really green over here.
If you're looking at Clix, put mouse over it on Clixnexus.
Okay. Well, I was going to say I would kind of rather the combat reflexes on her because she is a close attacker. So, but yeah, I think you have to look at her as having value. She's 40 points. She's got a lot of solid keywords there to get onto some name-themed team, which also gives you basically another person with prob. Lacking willpower, but she does have regen. And again, a trait that allows her to move into position and then clear the token and be hidden. So that's pretty good. And also, Fantastic Four keyword machine, she can start on your sideline as a call-in option for that new Fantastic Four, or whatever it was, replace the Fantastic Four trait. So definitely thumbs up, both main force and sideline.
All right, Tom?
Agreed. Thumbs up.
Yeah. So a pretty decent for 40-point Wolverine that can hide herself on the way up. Yeah. All right. Next up, She-Thing, figure number 12. Fantastic Four team ability, 40 points. This one has 5 clicks at 40 points. Fantastic Four and monster keyword, unlimited class wrestling. When She-Thing makes the close attack, after resolutions, you may place a hit character in an adjacent square adjacent to her. I liked how they had that clarification. This is a thumbs down. It's a straight up, like, I'm going to try to go forward and beat up with a lack of willpower. It's neat. It's just, it's not going on too many competitive teams, I don't think. Tom?
Agreed. It's a thumbs down. Again, good value, but the hardest thing to fit into any of your competitive teams is a generic bruiser. Rarely do you need them. And usually they need to have something about them that is special, like the ability to attack after taxiing, or some special mobility, or some kind of added protection. She's got none of the above, so just plain good value for points for a bruiser is not enough, I don't think. But who knows? Maybe the meta will change.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, hard pass. No, don't see me ever using it.
All right, next up, figure number 13, the Black Panther. 60 points for the Fantastic Four team ability. Fantastic Four, Ruler, Wakanda, and Warrior keywords. Ignores hindering for movement. Panther in the Shadows is the first trait, which gives him stealth. If Black Panther occupies hindering terrain, modify attack +1. And then new leader of the Fantastic Four is the second trait, is his damage power, which gives him leadership and outwit. He has that on his first 3 clicks. Tom, thoughts on the Black Panther?
Divided, but I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I think that the combination of leadership, outwit, and stealth is all we really need. In some ways, I wish that he was 40 points, had a couple fewer clicks, and still brought leadership, outwit, and stealth just to be a pure support piece. But in its place, you get a close combat attacker that, at least with precision strike, is almost certainly to get something through with it. That, in combination with the fact that his dial is just long enough, and the constant outwit really helps, along with the traded stealth, so it can be harder to get rid of his outwit with your opponent's outwit. He's just got enough good stuff going for him to be on the lower end of the thumbs up spectrum, but he still gets the thumbs up from me.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, I got to give him a little more enthusiastic thumbs up. I think there's a lot of value there at the 60 points. He's got the traded stealth plus a 20 defense up close with the combat reflexes, which would then have a 12 attack with a precision strike, a 3 damage outwit to maybe get rid of a damage power, plus solid keywords with ruler, with Fantastic Four. So again, either main force him or sideline him for swapping in. And plus, you know what? There's been so much Wakanda, so many Black Panthers over the past couple of sets that Wakanda's actually turning into a named keyword you have to look at. There's a lot of variety of these Black Panthers, and they're all starting to bring an extra little piece, and their point values are sort of spreading across the range now and filling in more. So, yeah, I got to give him a little more enthusiastic thumbs up. And, of course, Warrior, too, because leadership, outwit, Warrior. Here's another friend for Eddie Guerrero and Chase Thor. So I like this Black Panther a lot.
Going to be lie, cheating, and stealing his way with Eddie Guerrero. I'm with Tom on the lower end of the thumbs up spectrum, but yes, you're right. Wakanda is becoming quite the named keyword, especially if you look at round 2 of the Kilted Classic. It was pretty strong throughout that round. But next up, we move to figure number 13B, the Black Leopard. This is the prime of the Black Panther. He comes in at 50 points. Avengers, Fantastic Four, Ruler, Wakanda, and Warrior keywords again. T'Challa, real name. Ignores hindering. This one has Indomitable. I don't think the other one did. Let me double check. Yeah, the other one did not. Okay, so that's it. Of course, we're talking about a prime, so it's going to be pretty good. To fight for equality in Kujarda, the maximum attack, defense, and damage values of opposing characters within 6 squares of line of fire are each equal to Black Leopard's printed value of that type, and then special damage power, reminders of how they view even a king, leadership, and perplex. When Black Panther uses perplex to target himself, modify the chosen value by +2 instead. If an opposing character within 6 squares of lines of fire has a higher printed value for the chosen value than Black Leopard's printed value. Mike, what do you think of Black Leopard?
Yeah, a lot to unpack here. It's a really interesting prime. It's not necessarily my favorite one in the slot, but a lot of interesting stuff here. I wish I could remember which ring it is that allows you to see through hindering, but here's a great choice for a character to have that ring to sort of guarantee his ability to activate that first trait, which can be super annoying because his values are not so great. So it's kind of ironic. It's like, do I want to field this character who doesn't so much have great values when he, in fact, then makes other people's values not so great? That's kind of cool. 50 points, some good keywords there. I mean, Avengers, whew, hello. There's already enough.
I heard that's a pretty good keyword.
Yeah, right. There's already a lot of good stuff there. We already know about the ability to swap him with Fantastic Four. Ruler and Warrior again, and Wakanda. So here we are again. Here's another thing added to Wakanda that brings you another element to it. So I mean, just imagine this guy on the Earth X Wakanda map. Whew. So yeah, I guess I gotta give him a thumbs up. He's bringing enough interesting things, and at 50 points, it's only 6th of your build. So it's pretty good.
Tom?
I think he's a very easy thumbs up. Just the very fact that he has the ability to provide those value caps is going to be devastating against certain types of teams on certain types of maps, and he's only 1/6 of your build anyway. That's assuming that he's not on your sideline as a possible swap-in character, which of course he's one of the best options as a possible swap-in because there will be certain games where that's just going to be game-breaking. So I think he's a definite thumbs up.
Absolutely agree on the thumbs up on the Black Leopard. All right, next up, figure number 14, Thundra. 75 points. Femazon's Frightful 4, Future Liberators keywords, no range, Indomitable. Frightful 4, individual combat. Unique modifier, during opponent's turns, friendly characters with the Frightful 4 keyword, modified defense +1 for each attack that resolved that turn. Doesn't affect the first attack. Her special damage power on her first 4 clicks is the Combat Chain. Giant Reach 2, when Thundra makes a close attack, after resolutions, you may place a hit character in an adjacent square. So we have that effect there. Which is better with the Giant Reach when you consider, like, if you compare it to the She thing, you're actually moving a character from a couple squares away. It's still not super ideal. Once again, we're stuck with this conundrum of this is a general bruiser character, but it is part of that Frightful 4 package. I just don't think this is the ideal Frightful 4 character per se. They do get, like, if your opponent's making a lot of attacks, and we're talking about like some of those teams that try to bring out the fast super friends using Stara fights and stuff like that. Those defenses will start to add up pretty quickly. So you will force certain sequencing errors on your opponent, but it is still a unique modifier. So it's a unique modifier in the fact that she's the only one giving it. So I'm kind of misreading it. Either way, if the Frightful 4 is as good as I want it to be, it would be a thumbs up, but my eyes on the Frightful 4, they're not wowing me. They lack a certain wow factor for me. So I'm going to put it on the thumbs sideways, mostly because somebody's going to figure out the Frightful 4 and make me look stupid. Tom?
I am going to commit to a thumbs down.
Fair enough.
Someone will find a way to make Frightful 4 good, but I doubt Thunder is going to be on the team when they do. She's just not worth it for 75 points, even if she is doing a lot of good bruising. That's great. Play her in sealed, enjoy her in sealed. Play her in casual, enjoy her in casual. I'm glad that she gets a +1 defense after she gets hit the first time, because then when she gets knocked off her 17 onto a 16, it'll be a 17 again before she gets KO'd. Hooray!
All right, Mike?
Yeah, hard pass on
right.
Thunder there.
All right, next up we have Medusa. Also 75 points.
We don't.
No.
You missed Pete.
Can't miss Pete.
No, I didn't.
Petruski.
Hold on. 11, 12, 13, 14,
Trapster.
15, 16.
15.
Oh, Trapster's 15. There it is. Okay, my bad. I guess it glitched out or I missed it. My eyes blinked. All right, Trapster. 6 range, 3 targets, Minions of Doom, 75 points. Frightful 4, Intelligentsia, Magia, Scientist, Sinister Syndicate keywords. Frightful 4, Hasta La Pasta Insect. Unique modifier, during your turn, opposing characters modify defense -1 for each attack made by a character with a Frightful 4 keyword that's resolved that turn. Nope, I've always been Trapster. Plasticity is his second trait there. And then his special attack power, things are about to get real messy. Incapacitate. When Trapster uses it, you may generate a paste marker in each hit target square. Characters occupying paste markers must break away as if they are adjacent to Trapster. When no character occupies the paste marker, remove it. Tom, I think we started about this character last week.
Yeah,
Carry on, if you will.
I'm so glad I get to go first. I know we're trying to go quickly, but here's the thing. I really just have to take a moment with Trapster, because I just assumed that somewhere at the WizKids offices, back in the day when it was possible for people to be near each other and go into work, there were happier times in which someone came in and said, okay, huddle, guys. We have a plan for the new Fantastic Four set. We're going to do this Frightful 4 theme where the idea is to always make them 75 points so that when you play 4 of them together, it'll add up to 300 points and you'll have a Frightful 4 4-person team. And then someone at the back of the room put up their hand and they said, yeah, you in the back. But what about Trapster? We're not going to make him 75 points, are we? Yep, we're going to make them all 75 points. And the guy's like, but it's Trapster. Like, he should be 20 points, shouldn't he? Nope, he's going to be a 75-point figure. Okay, so are we going to give him good damage values? Nope. Good defense values? Nope. Good speed values? Respectable. I guess we just have to give him crazy attack values and an awesome incapacitate power. It'll be 75 points worth of pure value the one time you pull it off, but he's protected by a 17 willpower. It never goes up, and there isn't a single defense power on the entire dial. This is 6 clicks of wet tissue paper for 75 points. I'm afraid the joke is on you if you are playing Trapster. by all means. I look forward to one day getting beaten by a trapster, because let's face it, I love running shot, incapacitate, puts down paste markers, and has plasticity, so they're all locked down. That's awesome. But pulling that off is going to be the Hail Mary of your life. So, save that for the PJ Bolins, who will find a way to win with this piece. I am not that good. I am not going anywhere near a 75-point figure with a 17 willpower to start that never gets a defense power.
Mike?
First up, that was quite beautiful. I'm really glad that we record this show and it's archived, because that needs to be saved forever. So it needs to make sure that someone's got to send that to WizKids for sure. There is somebody there who's going to be like, who me?
Somebody at WizKids right now is like, I feel attacked.
Yeah, I feel added.
I have to say this: if there's somebody out there who can get a bunch of like zero costed bystanders on a team and somehow gives them Frightful 4 keyword, Trapster is gonna rule, because that trait could be crazy, really, when you think about it. I mean, obviously it'll cap at -3, but just because it just says for each attack made by a character with Frightful 4 keyword that resolve. Doesn't say anything about hitting or being successful. It's like, have 3 throwaway attacks with Frightful 4 people. Here's a -3 to defenses. That's pretty awesome. Obviously, it's never going to work in a positive way for you, because, as Tom pointed out, this guy's 75 points. The rest of the Frightful 4 is 75 points. You're only ever going to have 4 of them on a team. And one of them is this Yahoo doing nothing useful to you. So you only got these other 3 guys. So it's once again, it's an Admiral Akbar. It's a trap with the trapster. It's literally trying to pull you into a mess.
It's a trapster!
It is. It's the trapster. Yeah. But somebody somewhere, if there's a way to do that, that could be some gross stuff. But, no thanks. I'm not looking into it.
Somebody's day in Sealed is going to get ruined by this guy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm adding to this. Next up is actually Medusa. 75 points, Minions to Doom, Team Ability, Frightful 4, and Inhumans keywords. Ignores, elevated, and hindering for movement. Frightful 4, impenetrable disguises. Friendly characters with Frightful 4 keyword can use shape change. The malevolent mane of Madame Medusa. Plasticity and Giant Reach 4. Opposing characters within 4 squares of line of fire, consider Medusa adjacent for the purpose of breaking away. Mike, what do you think of Medusa?
Did you giggle at that name, Tom?
It's funny. The malevolent mane of
Madame
Medusa.
It is. There's a lot of alliteration going on there.
Literally.
I'll say this: if you're playing Trapster, you're definitely playing her, because she's given shape change, and that's the only way you're going to keep Trapster alive. He's got nothing else going on for him.
That's a fair point.
She's the 100% first Frightful 4 you're playing when you make a Frightful 4 team. I mean, think about it: stealth, TK, shape change on herself, gives shape change to all her friends, right? In that respect, pretty good. Unfortunately, outside of the Frightful 4 team, she's sort of got this support role, but I don't want to spend 75 points on a figure that sits back and TKs people. That seems like an awful lot of a mess. I'd rather spend 40 points then on Mr. Oz. He's doing a hell of a lot more cool stuff than that. So I got to kind of give her a thumbs down, with the caveat, if you're playing Frightful 4, she's your first pick.
Tom?
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Frightful 4, everything else.
Yeah, agreed, because everybody gets shape change. All right, next up, we're hitting the uncommon slot. Mr. Fantastic starts off the uncommon slot at 50 points with a Fantastic Four team ability. Fantastic Four Illuminati Scientist keyword, reforming the Fantastic Four trait. Once per attack, you may force the attacker to reroll a 4 in an attack roll targeting Mr. Fantastic. He has special movement power in his first 3 clicks. Elastic Finger Squeeze, Plasticity, Giant Reach 4, where Mr. Fantastic hits with a close attack and has not been moved or placed this turn. Till your next turn, a hit character modifies attack -1 and considers Mr. Fantastic adjacent for the purpose of breaking away. If if you didn't need to attack for his like considers adjacency, sure, but I'm not like I know we talked about this. I think we talked about this last week. This is not a very exciting Mr. Fantastic. A thumbs down for me on this one, with the exception of the fact that like he's got a whip, but there's other sources of outwit on the Fantastic Four I think that are better than this one, like Black Panther. So I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, he's also a thumbs down for me. Although in the same way that I can't remember what piece it was, but they were saying that like they were Black Panther was like the bottom of the thumbs ups. This guy's like the top of the thumbs downs because it's hard to knock. He's got decent values and he does have outwit with great better tie up capacity than his common counterpart with a higher defense value and the plasticity. Giant reach goes a long way and outwit's always awesome. So there are things to like, just not enough of a package together for me to like it quite well enough to put it on my team. I suspect he'll be on a lot of sidelines, though. Outwit is so nice.
Mike?
Yeah, everything you guys said.
All right, cool. All right, next up, Invisible Woman in the, come on. All right, in the 50-point slot as well. Has Reforming a Fantastic Four trait, Fantastic Four team ability, Celebrity, Fantastic Four keywords, 4 range, also 50 points. Form the new Fantastic Four trait as well on this one. And then her special defense is Protective Instincts. She has this on her first 4 clicks, everything but her last click. Barrier and Super Senses. Barrier as free, but only to generate markers in squares adjacent to friendly characters with new Fantastic Four keyword that were attacked since your last turn. Normal barrier replacement restrictions still apply. Mike.
I think it's me.
Oh, is it you? Oh, no, it's me, yeah, because I did the Miss Fantastic Four, so it's you. Sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, she's a thumbs up again, much like her common counterpart. I don't know that I actually like her better than the common. I think I like the common a little better, but nevertheless, this is a good use of 50 points. Love the 19 upfront super senses. I mean, it makes me wish that there was a defend there. It always does. But even without it, I can handle it because the barrier is cool and the free barrier effect is potentially cool on the right sort of a team. The Form the New Fantastic Four is, of course, the given here. And she's a TK piece with respectable attack values. Just kind of has to get off that first click for it to really matter. But she's just good enough at just enough things to give me a thumbs up for her. I like her.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with Tom, too. I do kind of feel that the common edges her out a bit, especially because it's 40 points versus 50 points. But no, this is a good Visible Woman. And again, Form the New Fantastic Four immediately makes her usable.
I do have to say I'm kind of plussed by the free barrier. If you're using like strong tight formations, it does allow you to protect anything that's kind of required to be close together as long as you're running a Fantastic Four keyword team. So next up, Human Torch, also at 50 points, also Fantastic Four team abilities, Celebrity, and Fantastic Four keywords, reforming the Fantastic Four trait, and then Flame On. When Human Torch moves, after resolutions of each move, you may immediately generate a hindering terrain marker in a square he moved through. At the beginning of your next turn, remove those markers, even if this is lost. I guess it's worded that way because he does have Hypersonic on the first click there. Mike, thoughts on the uncommon Human Torch?
I mean, he's okay. I gotta give him a thumbs down. I don't even so much feel like I'm gonna play him on the sideline either. Like, he seems sort of, from the Human Torches I'm seeing, the least interesting one to me. Placing the hindering terrain is nice, but it's just kind of, that's all it's doing. He doesn't have willpower indomitable, which is normal for Johnny, but I just kind of really don't even see him filling in a slot on the sideline.
All right, Tom?
Agreed. He's a thumbs down, not because he's in fact bad, but because he's just not good.
Yeah, I'm on the same train there. All right, next up, The Thing. 50 points, Fantastic Four team ability, Celebrity, Fantastic Four keyword, reforming the Fantastic Four trait, special defense power. Ooh, did that hurt? Impervious, and when the Thing uses it and succeeds during a close attack, after resolutions, deal the attacker 1 penetrating damage. Once per turn, when the Thing rolls a 4 for Impervious, he may roll again. I like this one better than the common. I'm going to say that. He's more cool than the common, but it's still not good enough for me to be like, yeah, gotta use this one. Because part of it does require that I succeeded Impervious, and and of course, penetrating damage is pretty prevalent in the metagame, so you do have to be aware of that. So I like it better than the common, but it's still kind of getting a thumbs down from me. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I'm a fence sitter. I have to give it a thumbs down, but I really have a conscience about it because I do think this is a pretty good economy for the points, and I love all the different things that are conspiring to make you not want to attack him unless you've got some sort of outwit and penetrating damage. And who knows, maybe he's pulling that away from someone else on the team who'd be more badly affected by it. He can force a Sophie's choice, but he's still a close combat bruising brick that isn't doing a lot. So, sorry, Ben.
Mike?
Yeah, Tom nailed it. Perfect.
All right. Doesn't like my explanation of it, just like yours, Tom.
Right, yeah.
No, literally. Well, everything you said, I was like, oh, God. Is this still talking?
All right, next up, my man, Dr. Doom. 6 range, 2 targets, minions with Doom, team ability, 95 points. Armor, Cabal, Latveria, Mystical, Politician, Ruler, and Scientist keywords. My robots often confuse my foes. Leadership, Mastermind. When Doom uses leadership and succeeds, instead of the normal effects, you may generate a Doom bot. He's playable at 95 or 45, but he's also got a 5-point trait. When placing characters during game setup, place Dr. Doom on this card and generate 2 Doombots in your starting area. This game, when a friendly Doombot is KO'd, you may immediately place Dr. Doom from this card into their square and must do so if no other friendly Doombot is on the map. While Dr. Doom is on this card, Doombots can use leadership. Tom, thoughts on Dr. Doom?
I'm not going to go into great detail about the 5-point optional trait because we did talk about it on the show a few weeks ago, and there's a lot to unpack there. Short version, I don't particularly like it. I actually think I would rather play him without it. But he is a thumbs-up piece for me. I love the fact that he's a mastermind piece that gets to create his own mastermind fodder when his leadership succeeds. And you know, beyond that, he's a leader. At 45 points, he's a good deal for leadership and enhancement, who's also there to be a nice little tertiary attacker. At 95 points, he's a bit rich, especially considering everyone in the world will see the running shot pulse wave coming. But all the same, I think that he's still decent, and he does have a nice stack of powers that I really like. I do think he's more playable at 45, and I think that at 45, he's bringing quite a lot to the table.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, I got to agree with all that that Tom's saying. I have to even add on that he's got a lot of solid keywords. Mystical and Ruler and Scientist are all great generic keywords. So you could definitely get him on a team with a lot of fodder. So not just Doombots, but other low point figures as mastermind fodder. We just got a whole bunch of those Cadmus scientists and Star Lab scientists in the last set. So you can get a whole lot of perplex with this Doom and wreck some stuff with that pulse wave. So I got to put him in the thumbs up category because there's enough potential there, and the 2 starting lines on top of that give him even more versatility and ways to fit in.
Yeah, I agree on 45 points being the starting line, and I also like the fact that you don't have to pre-invest in the Doombots. You just eventually get them. You'll get a leadership at some point. All right. Next up, we have the uncommon version of Nova. 125 points with a power cosmic, team ability, 8 range. Cosmic and Herald keywords. Hey, I've seen this kind of dial before. My conscience is clear, Surfer. When an opposing character is KO'd after resolutions, heal the highest point friendly character 1 click. You choose if there's a tie. Mike, what do you think of the uncommon Nova?
I was chewing a pretzel because, that's how much I care about Frankie Ray. Wow, we got 2 of her?
Yeah.
2 of her. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. She's 125 points. And from the look of her dial, that's a pretty short dial. So I don't even feel like she's appropriately costed for stuff we've seen lately. I mean, yeah, no. And sure, hey, it's great when an opposing character is KO'd, heal the highest point friendly character. But that's most likely her, because she's 125 points. Like, she's almost half your build. And I don't care about her in the first place, so why am I healing her? I mean, hey, hypersonic 11 attack, 4 damage with a perplex is solid. You could do a lot with that. But 2 good hits she's done, and she's almost half your build. And there's kind of nothing else special there. So, yeah, 2 Frankie Rays.
All right. Tom?
Interesting.
Yeah, I love the fact that she's got basically an unassisted 17 swing if she chooses to use her perplex on herself. The real question is whether or not that 4 damage is going to score you 125 points, because it's sure going to score your opponent 125 points after you cross the map, and they kill her in 2 shots. I wish I didn't dislike this piece, but I have to be honest. Thumbs down.
Sealed bombs don't have to be good and constructed. All right. Next up, the Skrull Warrior. 23, figure number 23. 6 range, Skrull team ability, 30 points. Skrulls and Warrior keyword ignores hindering from movement. Special movement power in his first 2 clicks. Drop disguise for combat. Running shot, free until your next turn. Modify attack +2. And Skrull Warrior can't use shape change or the Skrull's team ability. I like how they specify that. It's like, look, you're not getting shape change. Just give up. But it's +2 attack. For a 30-point figure, I'm giving this a thumbs up because the Skrulls are starting to look really sexy. Like this is the beginning of something beautiful with the Skrulls. So I'm giving it a thumbs up. For one, is 30 points with running shot. 30 points with running shot that you could sacrifice to get a 12 attack, 3 damage on. I'm okay with those kinds of stats coming out of this character. So yeah, I'm going to give the Skrull Warrior a thumb up. Tom?
Agreed. There's a very real chance that you're going to get 2 hits out of this Skrull Warrior, which is to say that they likely won't go down to the first hit. And in fact, the first hit may be a long time in coming with that 50% rollout. So, I mean, that's a lot of value for 30 points. Nice little generic fighting machine. Not a lot more to say. It's not going to break the game, but it's a nice contribution to a couple of really good keywords.
Yeah. Mike?
Absolutely. I mean, come on, Skrulls. This is great. More Skrulls. I mean, the 20-point Skrull I'm more excited for and most likely to play the Infiltrator more than this figure, but it's another low-point figure. He fills in the spots. And like Tom pointed out, we've also got Warrior keyword there. So again, more friends for Eddie Carrero. He loves those guys.
Viva la raza!
Viva la raza!
Next up, the Hulk. 75 points, Fantastic Four team ability, Fantastic Four and monster keywords, a new kind of fantastic teamwork when the Hulk hits with a close attack. Until your next turn, other friendly characters with a Fantastic Four keyword can use charge. You got the new Fantastic Four trait as well, where he can carry a character, or if he's placed while being carried next to 2 opposing characters, he can make a close attack. Special movement, guess I'll smash. Charge, but does not have speed. Tom, what do you think of the Hulk?
Well, I love the Hulk, as in I like the character of the Hulk quite a lot. What I think about this particular Hulk is not quite as favorable, and I'm sorry to say it because I'm always happy to see a new Hulk, and I'm happy to see a Hulk with a keyword that is named that isn't Avengers. So, that's pretty slick. But like Spider-Man, I'm just not quite sure what I'm getting for the points. I like him better than Spider-Man, admittedly. And not reducing your speed with charge is good, but his speed's only 7 to begin with. It's respectable, and I'm going to give it a thumb sideways, but that's because I don't have it in my heart to give him a thumbs down. I think he probably deserves it. But I still maybe hope to be able to pull off some shenanigans and stuff, and he's the Hulk. He's close to my heart. Can't hate on that.
Mike?
Mike, smash that barrier of thumbs down.
It's going to be fun when I play the Frightful Four versus the new Fantastic Four on camera with Amber. It's going to be adorable. Yep. That's about all I'm getting out of these guys for the most part, I think. Next up,
he does pair well with the Spider-Man, though. I do think he pairs well with Spider-Man.
I think he pairs well with any of the characters when you consider that he can go full movement charge, -1 to his movement when he's carrying somebody. But when he does that charge, he makes the attack. He adds an extra attack onto the pool because whoever he brings with him is probably going to be next to the 2 characters, which should be the plan anyway. So. Yep. I think he's good in that way, but it's still not a great, exciting thing to be using in the competitive.
That's half your team.
Yeah. All right, next up, X-23, figure number 25, 50 points with the wild cards, team ability, all new X-Men, Detective, Fantastic Four, Weapon X, X-Force, and X-Men keywords. Ignores hindering for movement. Circle of 4 trait. Healing factor, toughness. At the beginning of your turn, if X-23 has 2 action tokens, heal her 1 click. A special movement power on her 2nd and 3rd click. Hunter and Tracker, Flurry, Sidestep, Stealth. This goes to Mike.
Oh, I wish that special movement was on her 1st click.
Right?
That's awesome. And unfortunately, you're just going to get knocked past it because anybody attacking her, right, you're going to try and hit her for good damage. You're going to at least try and hit her for a couple of clicks of damage. You're most likely getting her past it. She doesn't have any kind of other damage. Oh, no, she has traded toughness.
Toughness, yeah.
You might catch the second one, but that's a tough spot, man, having it in those 2 clicks. Oh, what a tease. But she's still 50 points, ignores the hindering for movement, couple of cool traits there, lots of great keywords, snuck detective in there, interesting.
I mean, I think if you base it on the X-Force run where they were kind of trying to figure something out, maybe?
I mean, it's loose. I can feel how they get there. So I think you got to give it a thumbs up for all the value that you get with a wild card 50-point figure who's indomitable, who has ways of healing, and can dish out a fair amount of damage.
Tom?
Yeah, I will also give a tentative thumbs up, although I do want to correct one thing that Mike said. He used the phrase, lots of great keywords. I'm going to slightly revise that to lots of keywords. I saw them all listed and got excited, and then it was like, all new X-Men, lame. Weapon X, never as good as you think it's going to be.
Okay, I'm
underserved.
I am biased. I am biased in my love of X-related keywords.
Yeah, three good keywords, and then 1 okay keyword and 2 fairly useful.
I will capitulate that point.
All the same, the healing factor trait is the difference maker for me. Though I, like everyone else, also wish that I had that special power on my first click.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the detective team is really coming together here, guys.
Yeah, love it when they bury stealth. It's great. It's like leadership. I always like to see a nice late dial leadership.
Yeah. All right. Next up, figure number 26, the Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is playable at 80 or 40 points. 40 points, you only get the first 3 clicks. Worth mentioning that. So, and they also have that here in the Ghost of Uncle Eli. But it's 4 range, Fantastic Four, and Mystics team abilities. Fantastic Four, Mystical, and Shield keywords. Ignores hindering for movement. Ghost of Uncle Eli explains to you that if Ghost Rider has 40 points, he is KO'd when his dial clicks past the red KO line, and that's protected Pulse Wave. 4 Shield Beast Hunters, so that's the move and then remove an action token stealth ability that we've seen in the past. His special movement power on his 4, 5, and 6 clicks. Phasing teleport, when Ghost Rider uses it, moves 4 squares or less. After resolutions, he may make a close attack. And his special damage power on those 3 clicks as well. Penance Stare, Energy Explosion, and Pulse Wave. Once per turn, when Ghost Rider hits an opposing character that damaged a character that damaged a character that damaged a friendly character since your last turn. After resolutions, deal that opposing character penetrating damage equal to their action token. So if you hit my guy and then I hit your guy, that's going to be penetrating damage. If that's the guy that hit my guy, that's the easiest way to simplify that because there's a lot of words to explain that. I want to like this a lot more. For the 40 points, you get a bit of an interesting brawler that's got Mystics team ability and it's an interesting target for your opponent. I only see myself playing the 80-point dial on this in sealed and like tentatively, depending on what the rest of my pack looks like. It's not a first pick, like definitely going to play it. So I look more at the 40-point dial because we're talking about a mystical character. This adds a brawler. This adds more Mystics team ability to there. And then, he is stealthy and ignores hindering, which helps, so he can kind of get his way up the line. But long story short, I'm still giving him a thumbs down because even though the 40-point dial is more interesting, it is not interesting. Tom?
I'm glad you got there. I was fully ready to be like, it's appropriate that this is a Fantastic Four set, given the way you're reaching to try to find anything positive to say. I actually would disagree that in sealed, I think I'd play 80 points most of the time, since your opponent is far less able to control their output to the point where they have the luxury of avoiding those power clicks. In constructed, though, they absolutely have that. I don't know what you're thinking. All right, guys, I'm just going to put him out there, then he'll hit me, then I'll be awesome. It's like, I'm not going to hit you, I'll hit with your charge. You stay there. I'm going to go and take out the rest of your team. It's like, guys, where you going? Good luck. Sorry, he's not good enough at 40 points to justify 3 clicks, and at 80 points, your opponents will laugh at you for thinking that they're going to fall for such an obvious trick.
Mike?
Oh, I was still muted there for a second. I think this is a very appropriately made figure for the least interesting Ghost Rider of them all.
Fair enough.
Aw, poor Robbie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Robbie.
He was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mike
Keep
is
on-
pulling from the pages for his insults today.
Keep on driving, Robbie.
Yeah.
Go pick up your brother.
All right. Next up, Valeria Richards. 40
No,
points.
whoa. Didn't we skip something there?
No, we're at Valeria.
Nope. Valeria
What
Richards.
about the Prime? Don't we have a Prime
No,
Ghost Rider?
no.
Oh, no,
That's-
wait.
No,
oh,
this
that's
is
farther up.
That's a super
Oh,
rare one. We're talking about the
Oh, that's
uncommon
right.
one right now.
Oh,
We're-
yeah.
LA
God, so many
Alejandro.
Ghost Riders. So many Ghost Riders. Oh, I
All
know.
right. Valeria Richards, 5 range, Fantastic Four team ability, 40 points, Fantastic Four, Latveria, and Scientist keywords. Her special attack power on all 4 of her clicks. Let's see what I can make with this. Free, choose a standard attack power. Valeria Richards can use that power this turn. Her special damage power, here, Uncle, I built this for you. Perplex with a range of 8, unique modifier. When Valeria Richards uses Perplex to target another character who shares a keyword, she may instead modify a value except damage by +2. Tom, what do you think of Valeria?
I'm going to let the fact that she's on every team from now on answer my question for you. What a value for 40 points. 2 thumbs up. One of my most wanted pieces of the set. Incredible for 40 points.
Mike?
Yeah, she's like awesome as just a 40-point figure on a regular team. She's even more awesome on Scientist or Fantastic Four. And then triply awesome when you remember the trait about bringing her in with Reform or new form, the new Fantastic Four. So, oh my God, wow. And she would go into my most wanted in the uncommon category.
Uncle Victor is her new best friend. Because Liberia.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, she's there's room for her on every team.
Yeah.
There's always room for a Valeria.
Yeah. All right.
Whoa, hey, her and Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That
There you
works
go.
too. Hot stuff.
It's lots of perplexing going on there. Whew. All right.
Standard attack power. God, I love that.
Uncommon Sheathing, 75 points. Fantastic Four, Frightful Four monster keywords. Frightful Four, if you don't want me. Unique modifier, friendly characters with Frightful Four keyword, modified damage +1 when attacking only characters that share a keyword with them. Special movement power, coming after those that hurt me. Leap climb, when Sheathing uses it after resolution, she make a close attack. I think we've talked about this in the past, but I believe, Mike, you get the lead on this Sheathing.
Damn it. Wait.
Okay,
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
It clicked a couple of times there. Yeah, it's another she thing, and it's another bruiser that I'm just so not interested in. And even more so, it's 75 points. Nah, like it's even like kind of the worst of the Frightful Four too, which is pretty sad. I mean, I think I'd take Claw, who we're gonna see, over her maybe. At least I get some ESD.
I saw that reaction from Tom coming.
Yeah, that was just for Tom.
Yeah.
Popping the boys there.
Yeah, big thumbs down on She Thing.
Tom?
Well, she's better at 75 points than the Hulk, who I gave a thumb sideways to. But he's the Hulk, and this is She Thing, so it's a thumbs down. But I do think it's still not that bad. I mean, she's got a full movement leap climb charge with a special object, and she gets through shape change. That's great. It's just that then she dies.
And I think one of the problems I have with her is that she has probably one of the worst of the Frightful Four, traits.
Outside of Sealed, I would agree.
Yeah.
Does that count as Hulkocracy? Which is like
Hypocrisy, but with Hulk.
All right.
There's that reaching.
Oh, God. Why do I get the lead on this figure?
Hooray!
Claw.
This is the Dark Horse meta piece right here.
6 range, Masters of Evil team ability, 75 points. Aim, Frightful 4, Masters of Evil and Scientist keywords. Frightful 4, Sonic Wave. Friendly characters with the Frightful 4 keyword can use Energy Shield deflection. I'm just going to highlight that for a second. Overwhelming Blast of Sound is the second trait. When Claw is KO'd, roll a d6 on a 4 to 6. Deal 2 penetrating damage to all opposing characters with 4 squares. And his special defense power on his first 3 clicks can't touch this. Barrier, Invulnerability. When Claw uses Barrier, he may count range and draw a line of fire from the square of a friendly character with a Frightful 4 keyword. We created a scale for this guy not too long ago. and it's a claw scale, and where's this character sit on the claw scale? I want to like him more, but I can't like him as much as no. I'm not. He's thumbs down for me. I mean, Energy Shield's always a disappointment anyway. So, and you know what? He gets countered by a Nihilist. Your entire team gets -2 defense. Deal with that. I don't know. Tom, what do you think?
I have nothing to add. We went on and on about this guy before. This is a bad value for 75 points, and he's a definite thumbs down. Maybe you'll get lucky and land on Running Shot and Pulse Wave, or maybe you'll get lucky and you won't play Claw. Either one is fine.
Mike, anything you want to pigpile on a Claw?
He just makes me think of the old SCTV bit. He blows up real good.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
No, he blows up kind of poorly and with a small chance of dealing the damage that he was unable to during his lifespan.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Firelord comes in at 150 or 40 points. You get the last 3 clicks for 40 points on Firelord. 8 range, 3 targets, power cosmic, 150 or 40 points, like I said. Cosmic, Herald, and Nova Core keywords, and a special damage power in the first 3 clicks if you paid 150 points for him. Energy Explosion and Poison. When Firelord uses Energy Explosion after resolutions, deal X damage to each hit character, where X is the number of other opposing characters adjacent to that character. Mike, or Tom, what do you think about Firelord?
For 40 points, he's a definite thumbs up. I think that he goes a long way. We've been complaining about some pieces as we go, but here is your good use of 40 points if you want it. Power Cosmic with outstanding range, hypersonic, just plain good old-fashioned good stats and good powers. Talk about good stats. Look at those attack values. He's got an 11 or more for almost his entire dial. At 150, he is too rich. And so I can't give him an approval at 150, but that doesn't mean that he's bad. It just means that he's good for 120 points. He just doesn't cost that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mike?
Yeah, it's pretty much the issue right there. It's he's just a little too much out there on that top dial. But 40 points, yeah, hey, there's some nice filler.
Yeah.
So I look at it. 150 is sealed bomb potential. 40 points is your competitive put it in the box figure. All right, next up, Punisher. No, not that one. Uncommon. This is the uncommon non-prime one. Power Cosmic, 30 points. Cosmic Herald Robot. His special movement power, Unrelenting Flurry of Punches. Flurry, when Punisher uses it, if each attack hits a different target, he may make an additional close attack. He's got that across all 4 clicks of his dial with 4 clicks of Toughness and 4 clicks of Battle Fury. Mike's turn.
I mean, it's not bad. 30 points and 4 clicks. It's sort of... I feel it's a bit of a thumb sideways. Because it is a generic. It's got Robot and Cosmic, so there's some filler there. The flight means it could be a bit of a taxi. It can clear a crowd pretty good with that flurry power if it works. I guess I see that 17 toughness and I think, yeah, this guy, if he gets shot, he dies. So, it's like the thumb sideways, man. I'm just not sure. I feel like there's some possibility there in some filling in points, but maybe not so much.
Tom?
Gets a thumbs up from me. 17 toughness. Yeah, he'll take a hit. He's got to take a hit for 5 to get KO'd, though, or 4 penetrating. I mean, that's acceptable for 30 points, if you ask me. Otherwise, he's taxing your guys up. He is trying to get next to people, and the fact that he's wit protected and has willpower means that he's got a pretty good chance of being able to use that flurry if your opponent is fool enough to not get out of the way or deal with him. And frankly, dealing with him at 30 points, that's okay. I've got a Tri-Sentinel to introduce you to if you want to take care of that.
Oh, I apologize. I totally missed the Power Cosmic part. I have to give it a thumbs up because of that. I was thinking, it's easily outwittable things, but no. And because of Battle Fury getting through shape change, yeah, definitely thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the days where, because there's still some characters using mind control out there as well. So the fact that he's Battle Fury, do remember, Battle Fury and Incapacitate cannot touch this guy. looking at you, Trapster. All right, let's talk about the Prime version of this guy. Punisher comes in at 125 or 75. 75, you start at click number... Give me a second there to... Click number 4. Cosmic, Frightful 4, Herald, Robot keywords. Power Cosmic team ability again. Frightful 4 trait that gives them strange, heavily armored being, half robot, half alive. Friendly characters with a Frightful 4 keyword deal penetrating damage to opposing characters with 2 action tokens. Merciless, hardcore, massive mayhem. Close combat expert, colossal stamina, and giant reach 2 on this guy. His special movement power, which he has on his first click and his last 2 clicks, charge and flurry. Is this mine now? Yeah, it's mine. I think this is probably one of the better of the Frightful 4 guys. And I'm gonna give him a thumbs up for a number of reasons. He's got the Power Cosmic, and I'm giving it for the 75-point version. I'm not looking at 125 version for competitive play per se. It's got Hypersonic, the ability to do a ton of damage. The Hypersonic is boosted by the giant reach of 2. He's colossal stamina, so you can just keep going and going with him. Like, you can keep fighting with this guy. And you know, if you get the action tokens on guys, he's going to do some extra damage himself. Like, he's going to do penetrating damage on his own, regardless of Frightful 4 guys. So, you know, if you consider him for a robot or cosmic team, that's what I'm kind of looking at this as, is he does it. But if there is some version of Frightful 4 that works with this guy and is, like, really keynote for the for competitive play, when action tokens start getting put on guys, and, you know, sometimes people are going to push that second action, penetrating damage on everybody without having to outwit is super strong. So I do give him a thumbs up in the fact that he does a lot that's really good, and he is pretty tough for what he is. What do you think, Tom?
I agree. He's a unquestionable thumbs up for me at both point values, frankly. 75 is a little more viable from a pure sort of meta building perspective. Even at 125 points, that's not bad value. Keep in mind that that's Frankie Ray Nova, and you get a lot more here.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, definitely thumbs up. And this is somebody that you're going to play with Medusa, because she's going to give him shape change. She's got TK to throw him up and get him into position, provided, again, you're doing the Frightful 4 thing, if that's what you're going for. So, but definitely a lot there, a lot of cool stuff going on, and Robot and Cosmic. Yeah, you can fill in a nice space with this guy.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Triton. There we go. 40 points. Inhumans and Soldier keyword. Ally of the Seas is a trait. When establishing teams, choose a friendly character with the dolphin symbol. Triton gains that character's keywords. Special movement power, charge. Hypersonic speed, but only if Triton occupies water terrain when activating it. Tom, what do you think of Triton?
It is a 40-point piece that has prob and can be put on a wide variety of teams thanks to keyword manipulation. A good piece? Yes, it is. Thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. Mike?
Yep, for exactly the reasons Tom said. Plus, I'm even more excited to get him onto an animal team. I think he'll have fun.
Yeah, man.
And we're not talking about it this week, but when we have a conversation next week, I think his stock goes higher. Get into that later.
Oh, yeah.
All right. A little bit of everybody's like, "What's happening next week?" Some more previews, guys.
Myself included. I'm like,
yeah. All right, so we're hitting the rare slot, and we're starting off once again with Mr. Fantastic. 3 range, Fantastic Four team ability, 75 points. Avengers, Fantastic Four, Illuminati, and Scientist keywords. He ignores elevated for movement. To Strand the Griever is his first trait. Opposing characters within 4 squares of line of fire can't move except by doing capital move actions. Return of the Fantastic Four. Friendly characters with the Fantastic Four keyword within 4 squares can use leadership. And his special damage power on his first 3 clicks, long range planning, outwit with a range of 10. That power is also protected outwit. He's playable at 75 or 60 points. 60 points, you lose the first 2 clicks. So, Mike, what do you think of our first dip into the rare slot? Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like with the nature of his powers and what he's sort of bringing to your team, I think you kind of want to play him at the 60 points because you don't want to spend that 75 on him. It's tough. because I would rather have that outwit for 3 clicks rather than 1 click. But I don't know. He just feels like so much more of this backup support type character that's sort of slowing down the other team. So I don't want to invest that many points in him. So there's a weird disconnect there of wanting to keep him alive and all that stuff. But with Steel Energy, you're going to get a lot more, maybe, out of that 60 point in certain circumstances. And also, again, with Fantastic Four, I got to give him the thumbs up because he's another sideline option. Perhaps you need a 10 range outwitter for a particular team or something that ties up people with move actions, whatever it happens to be. So I'm going to give him a thumbs up.
All right, Tom?
60 point more than 75, though.
Okay, Tom?
Mr. Fantastic, walk over that mountain. No problem. Mr. Fantastic, walk over that bush. I can't do it.
Hold on a second. It's tangled in here.
I wasn't expecting all these stinging nettles.
That's why.
Isn't it weird?
It is. It was a weird choice, yeah.
Thumbs up at 60. Thumbs sideways at 75. I still think that you do get some value there. A nice deep dial. Weird combination of effects. He locks down characters within 4 squares, but he only has a range of 3. But he has an outwit with a range of 10. What a weird numerical things going on here. I don't know. I just like him. I like a really good outwit. I like an outwit that's protected even better, and I like it when it's combined with leadership and the ability to potentially lock down people within 4, so that he has a function when he's 10 squares away, and he has a function when he's 4 squares away. Even more of a function when he's 3 squares away. And when he's next to you, then he's got close combat expert and Steel Energy for most of his dial after he's off the top, and of course lockdown is always valuable. So he's just good enough. Good enough.
I'm going to agree with everybody here. All right, next up, 75, Invisible Woman, 6 range, 3 targets, Fantastic Four, or Shield team ability. She also comes in at 75 or 60 points. Avengers, Celebrity, Fantastic Four, Lady Liberator, Shield, and Spy keywords. Her first trait, my power set is really good for espionage. Stealth, ignores hindering for a line of fire. Adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with her can use stealth and ignore hindering for line of fire. Form the new Fantastic Four. We know what that one does. Special attack power on her first 3 clicks. I won't kill anyone. Incapacitate. When Invisible Woman uses it, after resolutions, hit characters, modify attack -1 until your next turn. At 60 points with her. Sorry, I went into the wrong characters. Give me a second here. I'm a hot mess. So you get the running shot with Perplex and 1 click of that. On the 75-point version, you get probability control. So on our difference, 15 points gives you an extra click of Perplex and a starting prob. That's where things get really weird on this character for me. It's Incapacitate, which is a hard power to kind of justify, but this is a figure that also comes with stealth and ignores hindering for line of fire. There's a lot I want to like about her. The shield team ability is also a really good bonus on her, like the fact that you're going to give extra range to your dudes who are going to be shooting next to her, and now seeing through hindering. So overall, I'm going to give Invisible Woman a thumbs up because everything in this package is pretty cool, and I like a lot of what she's packing. I'm divided on the 60 and 75 point versions myself because I love me some prob. That defense with energy shield's pretty high, but at the same time, I've also been let down by that combination of high defenses many times in my past. Not in the super recent past too, so they still kind of hurt. So I'm gonna give her a thumb up. What do you think, Tom?
I'm going to have to give her a thumbs down. The law of diminishing returns has finally caught up with Invisible Woman here, whereby there's just very hard to justify playing her over her more common and uncommon, more support-oriented dials, which also, oddly enough, had higher damage outputs, too. So you're really kind of hoping that the stealth ignores hindering and granting that out is going to be useful with her, because she's not doing a lot else, and her values are just so low on the damage spectrum that she's ignorable. And I don't love a character that is this ignorable. So, I mean, if she was the only way to get that Form the New Fantastic Four power, then I would have a different opinion on the matter. But as it is, the only time that I'm going to have her on my team, I feel like I'm going to be taking her off. So, because that's true, I have to give her a thumbs down.
I completely ignored that part of it, actually, to be honest.
Which part?
I ignored that she had the form of the new Fantastic Four in my assessment personally.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike, you're muted.
I didn't want to crunch.
So,
I gotta give her a thumbs up for the 60.1, only because on the right build, she's just got a good way of boosting somebody on those ranged attacks. I mean, if she's standing next to the person, she can take a power action with shield to boost damage. She's boosting range with shield passively. She's giving them the see-through hindering, and then she could use perplex on their attack. So there's a lot of boosting on another figure on a team. It is a little tough at the 60 points because it feels just a little bit high for a figure that's sort of only really being played as a booster for another figure. But because of the form, the new Fantastic Four, because of the fact that she has Fantastic Four, I can see her either way, main force or sideline, to come on to the right team in the right way to really boost up their range game. So I got to give her a thumbs up at 60. I'm really not looking at her at 75 points. I appreciate Prob to start, but more likely I'd be building her on a named theme team so she has access to Prob anyway, and I would rather have the 15 points flexibility to build with.
fair enough. All right. Next up, we have the Human Torch. Excuse me. 6 range, Fantastic Four team ability, 75 points. Avengers, Celebrity, Fantastic Four, Inhumans, negative zone keywords. Return of the Fantastic Four trait. Friendly characters with the Fantastic Four keyword within 4 squares can use enhancement. Special attack power on his first 3 clicks. Taste Nova Blast Galactus. Pulse Wave. When Human Torch uses it after resolutions, you may choose an opposing character that can use Protected Pulse Wave Capital Protected Pulse Wave or Protect Pulse Wave within range and within half his range and line of fire, and deal the character 1 penetrating damage. And a special damage power, Absorb Flame. Human Torch and adjacent friendly characters take no damage from energy explosion or poison. So like I said, 75 or 60 points on this one. Tom's lead on this one, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to look at this through objective eyes, but I just feel bad about slandering Johnny over and over again.
He's been made of like subglass this set. Like,
yeah,
he's
I know.
Glass cannony, but not cannony enough.
Let's throw him a bone and say that the 60 is a very small thumbs up because Running Shot Pulse Wave's awesome. I love the fact that you can, protect adjacent characters from energy explosion and poison, especially poison, given the fact that there's a Black Widow out there who just creates poisoners like it's a game. Unfortunately, it's the same Black Widow that would take away his ability to use that power, so, But anyway, at least she's only using it on him. I can't say no to a Running Shot Pulse Wave piece that also has the ability to carve through afterwards. He's a glass cannon, and he will shatter appropriately, but that's why he's only worth 60 points.
Mm-hmm. Mike?
I look at him squarely as a sideline option for the form the new Fantastic Four. I don't see him getting main forced. He's way too glass-jawed. I lean heavily towards putting him on the sideline at 75 points because definitely against the right team, it would be pretty great to pull in this running shot 6 pulse waving juicy figure. So I see him with a lot of high value as a sideline figure for that forming the new Fantastic Four, but so much glass jaw as a main force figure. So I would kind of really shy away from him.
The fact that the damage he's doing is pulse wave goes a long way, and getting past that extra stop click with the penetrating damage is nice. So yeah, I'll also throw him the thumbs up. I just don't know how many teams I'm personally gonna be playing with him myself. All right, next up, the Thing. Fantastic Four team ability, 75 points. He's indomitable. Avengers, Celebrity, Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy keywords, Honeymoon in Paradise. When thing starts the game, generate an Alicia Grimm bystander. We'll show you that in a second. Friendly character, his Return of the Fantastic Four is friendly characters within 4 squares can use Empower. His special attack power in his last 3 clicks. Everything I got, all or nothing. When the thing makes a close attack, you may choose that he modifies attack +3, deals penetrating damage, and that opposing characters can't use shape change or super senses. If you do, after resolutions, KO the thing. And then Alicia Grimm. 5 movement with sidestep, 9 attack, 14 defense with super senses, and she's got support. If Alicia Grimm is within 4 squares of an opposing character, the thing modifies his speed and attack value and damage by +1. When she is KO'd by an opponent's attack after resolutions, heal the thing to his starting click and modify his speed, attack, and damage +1 for the rest of the game. Mike, what do you think of the package of the thing and Alicia Grimm?
Well, Alicia Grimm is pretty cool, and she definitely adds so much more interest to this figure than if she didn't exist. If it wasn't for her, I would be such a hard pass, such a thumbs down on this figure, because he's just a real basic bruiser. He's not really bringing much special. Obviously, that attack power is awesome if your opponent screws up and doesn't pay attention and allows you to land on one of those clicks while standing next to somebody. In an age of being able to read the cards, I don't really see that happening, so it feels like such a situational power, so it loses some of its luster. But in the right circumstances, so I have to give him that slight thumbs up as a sideline possibility because of the combination of the Alicia Grimm and that potential there. But most likely not. I feel like he's the least favorable option to call in, and even with those boosted stats, he's pretty easily one-hit KO'd really at the 16-point line. So, yeah, as a mediocre sideline option, but other than that, I'm giving him a thumbs down.
Tom?
Interestingly, I'm giving him a thumbs up. I mean, I love support. It's not always easy to pull off, and it's even harder with a 9 attack, but all the same, it's something I'm happy to have. And if my opponent really wants to get rid of it, then they're going to reactivate and make my thing better. As long as she's near the thing, she's making him even better, and he's pretty good for his points already. And again, like, it's just the Pog puts it over the top. Like Mike, definitely would be a thumbs down piece without Alicia, but Alicia is enough to put it all the way over for me.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say I'm considering him more for an Avengers themed team than I am for like a Fantastic Four themed team myself, just because I think he kind of works very well with that Medusa bubble that we've seen in the past. And I mean, the fact that he'll give him power to that is pretty good in itself.
I think he only gives him power.
No, he only gives it to Fantastic Four.
Friendly characters, the Fantastic Four. He's pretty friendly to
Yeah.
himself within 4 squares. Get Empower, so he'll have Empower.
Oh yes, sorry.
Sorry. So he's going to use his Empower to give the extra damage to some of the hairs if he's doing that. Alicia Grimm Alicia Grimm will be part of it, where like, you put her in the face of the opponent. What's that?
Does the other Medusa have Fantastic
I don't
Four?
think she does. I think she has like Avengers and Inhumans or something like that.
Yeah,
and Ruler.
probably. Yeah, you're right. She doesn't.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be over the top. That would be like definite consideration.
Yeah. That's what I thought you meant.
But and the fact that you can add it to that package, put the Alicia Grimm in their face and force them to deal with it, and then all of a sudden I've got a thing that's healed to top if he's taken a little bit of damage and is now very angry at you. It could be a potential. That's why I'm leaning more Avengers than Fantastic Four with him, but I'm still giving him a thumbs up because there's a lot of options to get out of this guy. All right, next up, Dr. Fantastic. 100 points, 7 range, Minions of Doom team ability, Earth X, Fantastic Four, Latveria, Ruler, and Scientist keyword. Special attack power in his last 2 clicks. Summon Galactus, my son. Protected Pulse Wave power. Once per game, generate... Oh, that's capital Protected Pulse Wave. So this character is now Protected Pulse Wave. Once per game, generate a Franklin Galactus bystander. We'll look at that in a second. Special damage power in his first 4 clicks. Stretch my own brain to the limit. Outwit and Perplex. Free. Choose Outwit or Perplex. Dr. Fantastic can use the chosen power an additional time this turn. He's got a trait that you can spend 10 points for. I should really deactivate these Doombots. When a friendly character is targeted by an opponent's Outwit, Perplex, or Probability Control, after resolutions, you may generate a Doombot. And then we have the Franklin Pog, which is 0 movement, 12 attack, 20 defense, 5 damage with a 10 range and power cosmic, with a trait that says after resolutions of any action, if no friendly character named Dr. Fantastic is on the map, KO Franklin Galactus. Cool. He's everything about this I like. It is a version of Doctor Doom, even though it's Reed Richards wearing Doctor Doom's outfit. That's fine. Minions of Doom team ability is pretty great. And I kind of like him with the extra 10 points because your opponent, especially in competitive play, are going to be using Outwit. They're going to be using Perplex. They're going to be using Prob. And they're definitely going to be using Prob. I'm going to be throwing down some Doombots, bro. And then those Doombots add an extra level of protection for Dr. Fantastic because he has Latveria and Ruler and thus meets the criteria for that. So there's a lot of potential for this, for the Dr. Fantastic on that alone. I don't count on getting Franklin. If you get Franklin, you had a good day, buddy. But I don't also foresee him going past that. But I'm giving Dr. Fantastic a thumbs up, especially at 110 for me. Tom?
What's my favorite keyword, guys?
Earth X.
That's right. So I love him. I think he's good for all the reasons you mentioned. This guy is like owning a Koenigsegg. The most notable thing is the fact that you've got the fastest top speed in the world, and you'll never use it. You will also never use your Franklin Galactus Pog. That's fine. He's worth it without it. Thumbs up.
Mike?
Yeah, everything you guys said I agree with.
Awesome. All right. That said, we have Human Torch. No, not that one. This one has 6 range. Fantastic 4 is 40 points. Is Susan Storm, real name, so that's why I said no, not that one. Her first trait, Flare Up. I'm not sure how to control it. Poison, but if she's adjacent to an opposing character, she also damages adjacent friendly characters. And then her second trait, Can't Control Johnny's powers. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6. On a 1 to 5, turn to the click number equal to the result. On a roll of 6, turn to the click number 1 to 5 of your choice. Tom.
Yeah, well, we're back to trashing Human Torches again. They might as well have just said, at the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 and turn to the click number as a result. Because then people would be like, well, what if I roll a 6? Does that mean I'm KO'd? And the answer would be yes, but you would have been it anyway. So, yeah, it's a thumbs down.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, not very good. And from a storyline that really highlights that Reed Richards is a selfish jerk. Because I forget who it was. Was it Galactus coming or someone was coming? Yeah, Galactus was coming, and he needed a herald, but for whatever reason, he needed Invisible Woman to be the herald. That her power set was something he needed. So what does Reed do? He takes her powers away, takes Johnny's away, basically swaps them between the two of them, so that Galactus will come and take Johnny away. Because, who cares about my brother-in-law?
Well, based on the way that we've been doing the set review,
right?
We obviously don't. So
clearly, Reed's genius and made a good choice. But
we would have made the right choice.
That's it. He passed, but he kept her in this situation, and the rest of us will not keep her. Yeah, no.
She's the worst piece in the set.
She's totally
calling it now.
All right. I'm gonna call her a one and done, but 40 points for a one and done is not great. All right, next up, Franklin Richards, 65 points, Fantastic Four team ability, 6 range, Cosmic and Fantastic Four keywords. Return to the Fantastic Four trait that gives friendly characters with the Fantastic Four keyword within 4 squares power Cosmic. Maybe I'm Finally Ordinary is his next trait. Franklin Richards can't be equipped, and can only be healed by regeneration or the Fantastic Four team ability. The first time Franklin Richards will be KO'd by his own unavoidable damage, instead turn him to click number 11. His special attack power on all of his dial. Every time I use my powers, I get closer to losing them. Free, choose 3 standard powers. Franklin Richards can use the chosen powers until your next turn. At the end of your turn, if Franklin Richards activated this power or made an attack, roll a d6, deal him unavoidable damage equal to half the result. Mike, what do you think of Franklin Richards?
Do I really need to say? I mean, come on. There's so much there for the 65 points. You could get a bad run of luck. You could roll that power where he hurts himself, and you could roll 6 each time and do 3 clicks, but it's still going to take a while for him to disappear. That's still what, 4 turns, 5 turns because of the jump back.
4.
Yeah,
It's a full dial. Yeah.
So a 65-point figure with really great stats, you can pick 3 powers, and is going to live for sure 4 turns. It feels pretty good to me. I think, was it Tom and I realized at one point in time that the average game really is only about 4 turns at this rate.
Yeah.
On average, when you base it all out. So here's a 65-point figure who isn't quite going to die quite so quickly as you might think with that trait. So on top of that, yeah, I wouldn't mind some Power Cosmic on a whole bunch of my Fantastic Four figures. There's a whole bunch of them that don't even have willpower, so just that alone would be great. And also another wonderful option to have on the sideline for the form, the new Fantastic Four. And he's got Cosmic keyword, like Cosmic needed help. So yeah, this is a great Franklin Richards, and just shy of actually being my most wanted in the rare slot.
Tom?
Yeah, man. I mean, let's say that this was a naked dial that was 11 clicks long and had those stats. Would that be worth 65 points to me? Just barely, yes. So when you pile everything else on top, thumbs up.
Yeah. It also, one thing to take into consideration is anything we've kind of said, hey, it doesn't have willpower, but also has a Fantastic Four keyword, increases in stock slightly around Franklin Richards. Even if you're just using him to make these characters a little better. So, yeah. And he's up there on my top 3 for sure as well. I don't want to.
Sorry, and he's so great for that sideline, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, he fills so many nice little niche spots there.
Yeah. Oh, you said you aren't bringing Black Widow? Come on back in, Franklin Richards. All right. Next up, we have the Skrull General. He's 30 points, Skrulls and Soldiers keyword, ignores hindering from movement. Invasion plans from the Skrull Empire. When a friendly character uses shape change and succeeds, the attacker can't choose a new target with the Skrull's keyword. I don't remember if I said he has 6 range. Special damage power on his first 3 clicks. Deploying infiltration pods to key locations. Leadership and friendly characters with the Skrull's keyword gain the Underworld team ability. That's me.
Yeah.
Again, thumbs up. It's another Skrull that makes the Skrulls work. And one shape change rule, if you're playing a completely Skrulls keyword team, ruins all your attacks. Goodbye. Like, you cannot target anything if I'm playing a fully Skrull theme team. So, like, for that alone, as an include, it gets a thumbs up because the Skrulls are just getting very scary right now. I'm getting uncomfortable with how good they're actually starting to look. Tom?
Yeah, he's definitely a thumbs up on Skrulls teams, even if he probably isn't a thumbs up on other types of teams. But here's the difference. We talked earlier about we said the same thing about somebody or Medusa for Frightful 4. The difference is Frightful 4 is not that viable. So yeah, Medusa's on your Frightful 4, but it's probably not hitting the table. Skrulls, on the other hand, is viable. Ergo, this guy's definitely a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. Also worth noting, if somebody else rolls shape change, they don't have to be a Skrull to get the shape change, then your Skrulls can't be targeted. So, like, you have other Skrulls amongst other keywords, soldier specifically, because that's going to come up in the future later on. Anyway, Mike?
Yeah. Get used to seeing this guy.
All right. Next up, the Mole Man. 5 range, 3 targets, all Underworld team ability, 60 points, Infinity Watch, Monster, Ruler, Scientist keywords, ignores hindering for movement. Boss monster of Subterranea, Leadership, Mastermind. When Mole Man uses Leadership and succeeds, instead of the normal effect, you may generate 2 Moloids in any squares within range. Special damage power. Denizens of the Underworld heed my commands, perplex. When Mole Man would use it to target a friendly character with the monster keyword, he does not need range or line of fire. Tom.
Time to be a little mean. This is a great 50-point dial.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mole Man.
Yeah. All right, Mike?
Yeah, I so agree, but I feel like I'm still going to try. I love the Moloids. I love the way his Perplex works. Yeah, I really do wish he was 50 points, though. Man.
There's a lot to like. I just don't think he's worth the points.
No, it's tough. It's really tough, man.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to put him in that He gets a Moloid-sized thumb up. It's little.
I mean, he's got a leadership that can destroy a piece of blocking with a power action after the fact. But yeah, no, there's another one we can talk about later. All right, next up, the Living Laser. 75 points with 7 range. Batrox Brigade, Frightful 4, Lethal Legion, Modox 11, Masters of Evil, and Scientist Keywords.
As Mike was saying, lots of great keywords.
Lots of great keywords, right? There's not even a Batroc in the game right now.
You totally beat me to it.
I know.
Now, ignores hindering for line of fire. Frightful 4, Blinded by the Light, unique modifier. Opposing characters modify attack -1 when making a range attack that targets a friendly character with the Frightful 4 keyword. And his other trait, Absorption or Amplification. When Living Laser is missed by an attack, give him an Absorption token. Free, remove an Absorption token to choose one. Regeneration at no cost, or Range Combat Expert at no cost. Mike, the Living Laser.
Freaking laser, sir. He's, I mean, yeah, he's cool and all. I don't mind a hypersonic character with precision strike, shape change, and an 18 defense. No willpower. 75 points. A lot of keywords. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Just a lot of them, not a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
I gotta give him a thumbs down. Like, he's a cool version of Living Laser. He's better than the one we had way back in the Avengers set. The absorption tokens are interesting, and maybe you will get missed by an attack with your 20 defense from ESD. But I don't see it happening.
Tom?
I'm going to give him a thumbs up because it's not only a 20 defense with ESD, it's for one thing, it's a 21 since you're presumably standing in hindering, and your opponent is -1 attack from his trait. So
it's a 22.
It's kind of like a 22. Yeah, it's like a 22 if there was no rule of 3.
Yeah.
Boy, that's awesome. So they're going to have to get next to him. And in order to get next to him, because he's got big swing with decent range and hypersonic, then he's baiting you in. Like, you either don't want to attack him because you're pretty sure you're going to miss, and potentially activate an RCE that's going to throw at him, or later on the dial give him the opportunity to regen. So you're not going to go after him until you can get close. And he's got enough swing to make sure that he keeps the distance and forces you to regret getting close. That combination is enough for me. This is a Frightful 4 character I like.
Mm-hmm. It's a glass cannon that's a little bit more stable, in my opinion, than the Human Torch has been. So I'll agree with that. I'm probably more likely to include him on like a scientist theme team than most other things, just for that extra beef. Because scientist has so many things that are just like making this everybody else better. And he'll just be taking that all in and, having higher defense and stuff like that. So I can definitely see he's going to be on the lower end of thumb up for me, just because I love the idea of that 22 defense. But watch my opponent's dice get hot. My own hubris makes me scared of high defenses.
There's this about him. He is within the top 2 best Batrox Brigade characters that are currently legal in Modern.
Top 2 of the 4, I think, that exist right now?
No, top 2 of 2. The other one's Gwenpool.
Oh, we're talking about Modern.
Yeah, that's what I said. When you go Golden, there actually are enough. Like, it would be a fun Golden Age game someday to play Batrox Brigade.
Batrox, the Leaper. All right, next up, we have the Hydro Man. 4 range, 75 points, dolphin symbol, so he's got the swim ability. He's indomitable, Frightful 4, Master of Evil, Sinister Syndicate.
He shares keywords with Triton.
Yep. Frightful 4, opposing tide. Unique modifier, opposing characters modify damage -1 when making a range attack that targets 1 or more friendly characters with the Frightful 4 keyword. And then a special attack power for Heroclix, drown on dry land, poison, and smoke cloud. When Hydro Man uses smoke cloud, he generates water markers instead, and after resolutions, he can use poison at no cost and considers opposing characters occupying his water markers adjacent for his poison. This is another one of the Frightful 4 that I like, for the fact that everything he kind of does for himself is good. But I don't like him as much as Living Laser. Everything starts at range, which is great. He does have shape change and impervious off the top, and he is indomitable. It's just I don't like the keywords very much. and for everything that he does do, he kind of does it okay. He does make water, which is great, but occupying his water, it's still a smoke cloud water, which means he might as well attack. So I'm gonna give him a thumbs down personally, just because I don't want to use him, and I feel like I have to force myself to use him, and I'm still like going up to Thundra, or it's like I'm just not seeing this Frightful 4 thing happening. So, Tom?
Yeah, I was starting to feel uncomfortable giving a thumbs up to a Frightful 4 character, so it's nice to be back in my comfort zone again. With the a firm thumbs down on Hydro Man, although he certainly survives well. And that does go a long way in this game. There's something great about survivability, but when the only other thing you are is basically a close combat bruiser with some fancy tricks you're not likely going to be able to pull off, it's not enough to put it over the edge for me.
He's got the fancy poison. Mike?
You guys pretty much nailed that assessment there.
All right, so going from the wet to the dry, we have Sandman. Also Frightful 4 and Sinister Syndicate, I might add. 4 range with the Minions of Doom team abilities, 75 points. Lacks the Indomitable that our previous friend had. His Frightful 4 Dune Sandstorm, unique modifier, opposing characters modified damage -1 when making a close attack that targets a friendly character with the Frightful 4 keyword. His special attack, Sandblast, Quake, Smoke Cloud. When Sandman uses Smoke Cloud, after resolutions, he can use Quake at no cost, but may also target any opposing characters occupying or adjacent to his hindering markers, regardless of adjacency. Tom, Sandman.
I feel like we just talked about this guy.
We kind of did.
Look, what does he do? Does he do enough differently from Hydro Man to be dramatically better? Nope.
All right, Mike?
Yep, there you go. And you know what's really funny, too? After talking about how Medusa is like, you got a player on a Frightful 4 team to give them shape change, the last 3 Frightful 4 figures we've seen all already have shape change. So, thanks, WizKids.
Medusa's been edged out.
It's all right. The completely undeserved MVP is on the way.
Hey, how about that? It's the Wizard.
So bitter. So bitter.
He's so bitter about this, and I love it. 7 range, Minions of Doom team ability, 75 points, Frightful 4, Intelligentsia, and Scientist keywords. Form the new Frightful 4. At the beginning of the game, you may replace up to 4 friendly characters with the same. So it's basically the same thing as Fantastic Four, except for Frightful 4 this time. Frightful 4, you meddling fools are no match for my intellect. Friendly characters with the Frightful 4 keyword within range and line of fire have protected outwit. And is capital protected, so and then special damage power in Intellect Despair, Leadership, Outwit, Perplex. When he uses Leadership on a result of 4, choose Outwit or Perplex. This turn, Wizard can choose the chosen power twice. Mike, Wizard.
Wow, we can use that first trait to swap out Sandman for Hydro Man, or maybe bring in Claw. So,
yeah,
that's awesome trait. I mean, Tom sort of hinted at it anyway. There is a lot of usefulness to this figure. I mean, he's got a 6 movement to shoot 7 with precision strike and 3 damage already to start, which he could make 4 damage, or it could be a 12 attack with 3 damage and precision strike. Could outwit a defense power. Leadership is useful, taking tokens off. And in fact, he has the potential to either have Perplex or Outwit twice if he fails that leadership roll. So there's tons of stuff there. I think you have to give him a thumbs up. There's a lot of economy. Defensively, he looks a little soft, but he's still bringing a lot of stuff. So
Protected outwit.
You gotta look at him that way. He's another one that, again, if you're playing Frightful 4, you got to be considering using this guy. So definitely a lot of value within the figure. Like Tom said, we're all not sure why the Wizard, but I got to give him a thumbs up.
Tom?
You at the back of the room. All right, so I get that we're going to take a 75-point Trapster, but Wizard for 75 points? Yep, we're going to make a 75-point Wizard. But shouldn't he be 40 points and terrible? No, make him 75 points and awesome. Make him like Mr. Fantastic, only better for some reason. Like, make him better than Mr. Fantastic, the guy who he's outwitted by so consistently that it's like a running gag. What can I say? The Wizard is a wiener, but he is somehow one of the best pieces in the set. That might be strong words, but He's too good for the wizard. He's good for 75 points too, so he's a thumbs up.
Is he not in your top 3?
Actually, he was. He is one of, like, if you set aside the fact that he's a loser, then I do like him. I like the Heroclix piece a lot. I'm just going to resculpt him with a Mr. Fantastic.
Your Mr. Fantastic doesn't have any plasticity and has running shot for some reason.
At least he can get through the bushes.
I'm gonna jump on the thumbs up party on this guy too. All right, Gorgon, 45 points, Inhuman Soldier, charge. He quakes up to 3, squares away. It's Gorgon. It's thumbs down. He's neat, but like it's kind of a one and done if you do use him, and I'm not excited by him. So it's a Gorgon. Yeah. Tom?
I almost went thumbs up before I remembered that in the constructed game, this guy will not see a single minute of play. Thumbs down. But he's great for Gorgon. Best Gorgon we've ever got.
Yeah, great Gorgon. Just it's unfortunately plays like a Gorgon. Like,
yeah, and I mean, 11 attack, 4 damage on a 45-point figure sounds really awesome, except for the fact that he'll never get an attack.
Or he'll get 1 and then just get obliterated afterwards.
Yeah.
All right. Silver Surfer. Playable at 150 or 75 points. I know we've talked about this one in the past, but anyway. 8 range, Power Cosmic, 150 or 75 points. Annihilators, Codex, Cosmic, Defenders, Fantastic Four, and Herald keywords. Dawn Greenwood, Ordinary Girl from Earth. At the beginning of the game, generate a Dawn Greenwood bystander. We'll talk about that in a minute. Special movement power.
Here.
Hypersonic. When Silver Surfer uses it after resolutions, she may choose a character he hit or moved through. The chosen character gains immobile until your next turn. Special attack power. I only attack to defend. Free. Choose a standard attack power an opposing character within 8 squares can use. Silver Surfer can use that power until your next turn. Excuse me. Dawn Greenwood. 6 movement with sidestep, and she's got a special attack power on her attack and damage. 8 attack, 15 defense. It's not great dial, but her trait, I have to leave you now. When Dawn Greenwood is KO'd by an opponent's attack, I have to leave you now, and I gotta get KO'd by an opponent's attack. Come on. Modify Silver Surfer's combat values by +1 this game. Special attack, I might have gotten in over my head. Power, if Dawn Greenwood is within 4 squares of an opposing character, place Silver Surfer adjacent from elsewhere on the map. And her special damage power, I don't know how to feel about you, Norin. Enhancement, period. Perplex, but only to target a character named Silver Surfer. So it's enhancement for everybody, perplex only for the Silver Surfer. This is Tom.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm sorry. I have to give it a thumbs down for constructed play because it's just too many points for what you get. He's a boss, man. I really want to get this piece and play it. I just don't want to bring it to a meaningful enough tournament because I don't think he justifies his points. I wish you could start on click 3 at 100 points. He would just be dynamite, and I would even accept the fact that penetrating damage can get through him because I just think he'd go an awful long way. But he's not, and for what's there, 75 is too weak, and 150 is too rich.
All right.
Sorry.
Mike?
Yeah, I so want to play him at 150, but in a world where Black Widow Chase exists, yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I have to just, it hurts me because that's a pretty cool Silver Surfer. And I would love to play it in a game, and yeah, that whole Dawn Greenwood thing is pretty crazy, and you can do much stuff with him. But in a world with Black Widow where you're most likely not going to win map and you're not going to go first, it's too many points.
Yeah. Not an overall great investment. I'm on the thumbs down train for him. Let's try the next Silver Surfer, the Prime. This is figure number 47B. He's got 7 range, Power Cosmic, and Skrull team ability. He's 70 points, Cosmic, Skrulls, and Spy for keywords. He's got the Refractive Matrix to negate Cosmic Knight. When Silver Surfer hits, after resolutions, a hit character can't use Protected Outwit, Capital Protected Outwit, or Willpower until your next turn. Then a special movement power, Skrull Spy with a fraction of the Surfer's might, hypersonic speed, and stealth. And then special attack power and everything but the first click, siphon off the True Surfer, incapacitate, precision strike, steal energy, but with close or range attacks. Not only with what was the matter with me?
Not only with all the types of attacks there are.
Yeah. Mike. Yeah, you get the lead on a scroll.
I am so excited for this figure. Are you kidding me? 70 points? What? Somebody at WizKids was like in my brain and just gave me a gift. The guy's got... First off, we've already seen how great hypersonic stealth is way back in Secret Invasion with that Ms. Marvel. She was gross. So now here's some great hypersonic stealth shape change on a 4, 5, or 6 because of Skrull team ability. Power cosmic, so you can't outwit it. And it's on the dial, so, what's her face can't mess with it. And he's got precision strike himself. Wow. Only 70 points. Wow. We've already seen some other amazing Skrulls that make him even more amazing. Wow. I'm so happy. Skrulls all day, every day. Skrulls.
He's giving a thumb up, but he's not using his thumb.
Skrulls.
Tom?
Skrulls.
Can't add to that. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up too. It's a pretty neat addition to the Skrull family. All right, next up, wrapping up the rares with Karnak. 40 points, Inhumans and martial artist keywords. In everything a weakness, which is his special attack power on his first 3 clicks. Close combat expert outwit. Where Karnak has no action tokens and uses outwit, adjacent opposing characters can't use protected outwit or capital protected outwit until your next turn. That was cool when we had it on the Odin, but the Odin never used it. Now we got it on a 40-point package, but he's got to have no action tokens and be adjacent. He's a lot to want to like to work, but he's not a lot to actually do any work, so I'm going to give him a thumbs down, unfortunately. I like him, but he's not doing it for me. Tom?
Not me. He's a big thumbs up for me. I'm carrying this guy across the field, and you are going to either deal with his with attacking him and trying to go for the super senses, which is fine. He's 40 points. Go right ahead. Or you're going to deal with that cool outwit, and if I get in the position, I'll use it effectively. And if you don't do anything about him, he's got close combat expert and precision strike. Pretty great stats, all for 40 points. Sweet deal. Not quite as ubiquitous as Triton, but a great 40-point Inhuman all the same.
Mike?
Yeah, I got to lean with Tom on this one. I think the 40 points and that nice outwit power makes him really helpful. Martial artist is still not a bad generic keyword, so I got to give him a thumbs up.
I just try to think what you're carrying with either keyword. All right, anyway.
I'll figure it out.
Thing is the first in the super rares. This is Dad Bod Thing. This hits me on an emotional level.
Just to be clear, a 40-point outwit character is a good start regardless. Like the carrying is a nice added bonus, but it's still 40-point outwit with like martial arts is a decent enough keyword.
All right. So Thing, Fantastic Four team ability, 50 points, Earth X, and Fantastic Four keywords. Buzz and Chuck at the beginning of the game generated Buzz and Chuck bystander. If your force is a Fantastic Four theme team, those bystanders have autonomous this game. The Thing can't attack unless Buzz and or Chuck was KO'd. Clobber you. What kind of unsophisticated slob do you think I am? As a second trait, Perplex. When the Thing uses it, he may modify attack values -2 instead of -1. Special defense power across the entire dial. Settle down with Alicia to raise a family, which gives him defend and invincible. Buzz is 6 movement with charge, super strength, impervious, 2 damage with empower. Chuck is sidestep, super strength, impervious, and close combat expert. Tom.
I'm going to answer this question in the form of 2 questions. Question the first, what's my favorite keyword?
Earth X.
Question the second, is this a 50-point pog-generating, empowering 19 defend piece with Perplex, who's a decent attacker in his own right once he's activated?
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
All right. Mike?
I like the sculpt. No, I'm teasing. I do like the sculpt, but no, I think there's potential in this figure. Like Tom said, at 50 points with the defend, with the perplex, I like Earth X as a keyword. Again, he's got Fantastic Four, so he's another potential sideline figure that could be swapped in with the right combination of other figures. So yeah, I got to give him a thumbs up.
Very clever.
I also give him a thumbs up. I relate on the dad bod thing. Next up, Ms. Marvel. 3 range, wild card, 60 points. Agents of Atlas, Avengers, Celebrity, Champions, and Humans keywords. Quick thinking polymorph, shape change as a trait. Free, choose 1 to last until your next turn. Giant and modify combat values +1 or perplex and plasticity. Special movement power in her first click, waiting for the right time to be a hero. Sidestep, tiny size, hypersonic, but only once per game. Mike, thoughts on Ms. Marvel?
I'm so, like, she feels so on the line. Like, you read that combination and, hey, man, getting +1 to all her stats in a turn and choosing that to be the one turn where she hypersonics. I mean, that's 11 movement, 11 attack, 19 defense, and 4 damage. That's pretty good on a 60-point figure. So that feels cool, but it also feels a little bit Admiral Akbar. I mean, she's got shape change, but it's killable too. I don't know. I sort of kind of thumb sideways on her. I'm probably wrong. She's probably not really meta, but man, that just sounds really cool. She's a cool version, that's for sure.
Tom?
Thumbs up from me. That's a lot of value for 60 points. Get that perplex, get that plasticity, the ability to crank up your stats when you need to. Otherwise, your buddy's carrying you around and you're just a mobile, shape-changing, tiny, well-defended perplex piece. Suits me.
I'm trying to think where the value
Oh,
is.
yeah, she's tiny.
Yeah, she's tiny to start with the first click. As long as you don't activate the giant part.
Yeah.
And she's traded with shape change. I remember I turned from, like, I'm not sure about her to liking her when we first looked at her. So,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with where I kind of ended off. It's like, I like her. She's neat. She's an interesting include in some teams. It might be more of a future metagame for me, though. So I'll give it the thumb sideways myself, but she's really good.
Yeah, so I think that when we were first talking about her, I think we may have been like Valeria Von Doomed or something into thinking that in order to be valuable in this game, you have to be obscenely good.
Yeah.
I think she's great for 60 points.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Silk. Comes in at 75 or 30 points. For 30 points, you get her last 3 clicks. 6 range, 2 targets, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, 70... I'm going to stop reading the points when I do that. Agents of Atlas, Fantastic Four, Reporter, S.H.I.E.L.D., Spider-Man family keywords, ignores elevated and hindering from movement, 4 S.H.I.E.L.D. Beast Hunters, and she's traded with super senses but succeeds on a 4 to 6, and it is protected outwit. That's willpower on the first 3 clicks. This goes to me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one because she's really cool in what she does, but she always has the super senses except with our friend Black Widow. God, I hate her existence. I hate her existence. But at the same time, if I go with a 30-point character and they Black Widow her, fine.
Yeah,
Right?
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. If I go with the 75-point version, I'm a little bit more tentative about it. So, but unfortunately, you lose the willpower on the first couple clicks, but you do have the Spider-Man team ability. There's a lot to like, so I'm going sideways on this one. I'm going some thumb sideways. There's some version of a team that uses this 30-point Silk to some degree, and it's probably in some combination of pulling her off of the sideline with the Invisible Woman, and like, so yeah, I'm gonna give her a thumb sideways. I want to like her. I'm gonna try her on some kind of form of team, but I don't think it's quite there. Tom?
Yeah, if I take your thumb sideways and split it in half, one thumb is going up for 30 and down for 75.
Yeah.
That's how I would sum it up.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you definitely have to look at her at 30 points, though. Shield team keyword is definitely something to consider there because she's at 30 points. She's got 9 movement with the sidestep to then have stealth and remove the token for that. So that's already, moving her up 11 squares. She can hide, and she's got a super senses in a 4, 5, or 6 that can't be outwitted. that's a lot of stuff on a 30-point figure. Plus, being a wild card, she could wildcard shield team ability. So now she's able to just move up, take a token off, and then next turn be able to give her a token to boost damage on a range attack or something. So I think there's definitely lots of value and potential at 30 points, and I have no intention of ever playing her at 75 points.
Yeah. All right. I felt a little better about that one after I kind of weaseled my way into thumb sideways.
I think you're right about it.
Yeah. All right. Dragon Man comes in at 120 or 75 points. 6 range, is a giant, is indomitable. If you pay 75 points, you do not get the first 2 clicks on Dragon Man. He's got the Circus of Crime, Enforcers, Frightful 4, Monster, Mystical, Negative Zone, Robot keywords. Her Frightful 4 ability is property damage. Friendly characters with Frightful 4 keyword have free if this character is adjacent to a printed square of blocking terrain, generate a light object. His special attack power, which is in places, Mystical Breath and more, Energy Explosion, Penetrating Psychic Blast, and Super Strength. His special defense power in his last 3 clicks recharge batteries. Invulnerability, free, heal Dragon Man equal to the number of adjacent squares of printed blocking terrain, then destroy that terrain. Tom, Dragon Man.
Hey guys, I pulled a super rare. Yeah. How might I describe the super rare? Well, scratch out the ON and replace it with a comma, and that's my feelings on this guy. Drag man. Honestly, I don't know what to say because he's a giant target who will get murdered. I can't. Nothing wrong with 75 points of charging across the map to try to smash you with exploit weakness. The only problem is you're not likely going to be able to do so. So how much can you pack onto a close combat break at 75 points and still not quite manage a thumb up? This is about that much, and 120 isn't worth talking about. Sorry, Drag Man.
Mike?
Yeah, Tom summed it up in the 2 words, giant target.
I'm in experimental mode in my head. I'm agreeing on 120 points. 120 points is 100% thumbs down. But I can't ignore the existence of Fancy Dan. And the fact that he has the Enforcer's keyword. I want to give it a try, and I want to see if it works. I will full-blown, give up on it if it doesn't work. It would be neat if it worked. So I'm giving it a tentative thumbs sideways that goes thumbs down when my testing with Fancy Dan next to him goes sideways, which it likely will, but it's still worth a consideration.
Hey, lots of good keywords.
I didn't say lots. I just said...
But here's the funny part. He does. He's got Monster, he's got Mystical, and he's got Robot. He's got 3 of the hottest generic keywords right now. So...
Yeah.
And he does have
mixed in with a whole bunch of crappy ones,
which works with Fancy Dan, which is where I stand on that. All right, Ghost Rider.
All right. We're almost there.
50 points, 4 range. Keywords are Codex, Fantastic Four, Monster, Mystical. Temporarily sent back by Johnny Blaze, King of Hell. When Ghost Rider would be KO'd for the first time. Instead, turn her from any click from 1 to 5. Next time she takes damage from an opponent's attack, KO her, Protected Pulse Wave, Special Defense Power on the first 2 clicks, the Guardian Phantasma, which gives her Defend, Energy Shield, Toughness, and Willpower. Adjacent friendly characters of equal or lower points, or that share a keyword with Ghost Rider can use Energy Shield Deflection. Mike, Ghost Rider.
She's kind of cool, got a couple of good generic keywords in Monster and Mystical, has a place as a potential sideline figure because of that Fantastic Four keyword. You do get a second life out of her in essence by the fact that she doesn't.
With a stop.
Yeah, it's basically a 6-click dial at 50 points. So there's some value there. So I give her a marginal thumbs up. There's other better stuff out there, but yeah, there's a place for her in some areas.
Tom?
Interesting design choice to give her Charge and Quake on her first click, actually on the dial. They might as well have just put that into the defense special too, just to try to stack up as many possible powers that can be outwitted as one.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I remember we made that joke with the first go.
Yeah,
so it was like,
she's very outwittable. If she doesn't get outwitted, then she's a pretty good value for 50 points. So caveat emptor, play at own risk, and a thumb sideways as a result.
Yeah. If you really need that energy shield on a Monster or Mystical team, up for consideration. And like Mike said, if you need an energy shield in a particular run with the Fantastic Four, sideline it.
Yep.
All right. Next up, in the coolest priming I've ever seen in my life, we have another Ghost Rider in the prime slot. This one is playable at 100 or 40. I know we've talked about this one before, but it's worth going over. 3 range, Mystic's team ability, Fantastic Four and mystical keywords, ignores elevated and hindering for movement. Circle of 4 trait, Spirit of Vengeance is the second trait. Power, if no other friendly character, has been placed this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked a friendly character since your last turn. Place Ghost Rider such that she can make a close attack targeting the chosen character, then do so. Her special attack power gives Sin Manipulation, which gives her poison and steal energy, and then Saved by the Spirit, which gives her stop and invincible on her special defense power, which is kind of intermittent in there. Here's that 40-point dial, which is the one we're probably going to be talking about a lot. I believe this is actually mine now. And that's the dial. This is the dial. The 40-point dial on this mystical, this is a main board 40-point include on either a Fantastic Four or mystical theme team. She's really good. She might even be on off-theme teams, to be brutally honest. It's colossal. She's got Colossal Retaliation, which is, it's a power action to use it, but she's kind of safe in the fact that she's got the stop click at the end. So they'll have to take 2 damage to kill her, 2 penetrating damage, so if they have invincible, whatever, but she's also got prop. So there's everything to like about this 40-point mystical character that is super mobile as she is. If you're just using her as a 40-point include on your team, she's got Hypersonic with, a 2-range attack with Precision Strike, again, with prop. So overall, a thumbs up, specifically for the 40-point dial. 100-point, I'm a little less excited about, but it will be a super strong sealed piece. And is worth looking at because it does have the 2 stop clicks that go on it. So I'm going to thumb sideways 100-point, but definitely thumbs up, 2 thumbs up for the 40-point. Tom?
Yeah, thumbs way up for the 40-point, and 100-point, I'm with you. I'm going to go thumb sideways only because I can't in good conscience give it thumbs down because it's so good, but I don't know why I'd ever play it at 100 when 40 is an option, and it frees me up 60 points to spend on something else.
Yeah. Mike?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, that 40-point. And, this figure would be tied for my most wanted super rare.
Yeah, I should have actually said Earth X Thing is my most wanted super rare.
Oh, yeah. And this is in my top 3 for sure. All right, next up, Wolverine. 75 points, Fantastic Four, Weapon X, and X-Men keywords. He's indomitable. The new kind of fantastic keyword that gives, if he hits with a close attack, other friendly Fantastic Four keywords can use Flurry. I don't stay down easy when Wolverine would be KO'd, except by this trait. Instead, put him on his card with 4 healing tokens. At the beginning of your turn, remove a healing token. When you remove the last one, place him on the map on click number 6 within 4 squares of a friendly character with the Fantastic Four keyword if you can't KO him. And then he's got the new Fantastic Four passenger drop ability. And he's got a special movement power in his first 3 clicks. Charge, Flurry, Sidestep. When Wolverine KOs an opposing character after resolutions, remove an action token from him. Tom?
Oh, he's awesome. Big thumbs up from me. I mean, realistically, given, as Mike alluded to earlier, not every game is going to go a ton of turns. So he may never actually find his way back onto the map again, but that's fine. He didn't give up any points. What more do you want? Like, you point this guy right at your opponent. He runs across the field, gets ready to do some serious damage. If they knock him out, he'll either be back or they've got to wipe the whole team in order to score his points. That's a great... I don't know. I can't see anymore. I think he's incredible.
Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially to start, I mean, he's got Sidestep, Charge, Flurry, so what a great guy to just get right into the mix. We already know there's TK potential on the team to throw him up there. What a beast of a Wolverine. He literally does not stay down easy.
No. And, like, this is reminiscent of the original Wolverine that was kind of dressed like this in the Galactic Guardians? No. Yeah, Galactic Guardians set. Something like that. In that era. I think it might have been a Hulk
Galactic
set.
Guardians. You're correct.
But anyway, long story short, such a thumbs up. Possible include the fact that he's giving Fantastic Four characters Flurry when he hits with... That is insane when he has Flurry himself. So he's got 2 chances to possibly hit. Give everybody else Flurry. like that might actually increase the stock of things. Like everything we talked about could go up in stock. Black Panthers who are close combat focused. Mr. Fantastics with giant reach getting flurry. Woo!
Franklin Richards with 11-4.
Come on now. Oh, you have to give him his charge after the fact? Sure. Oh,
Triton,
man.
providing you can find a swimming Fantastic Four.
All right. Next up, we have Agent Venom. Wild card, 6 range, 75 points, Codex, Fantastic Four, Monster, Shield, Soldier, Spider-Man Family, and Thunderbolts keywords. Ignores elevated and hindering for movement, Circle of 4 trait, call in help from me once per turn when another friendly character that shares a keyword with Agent Venom hits. After resolutions, you may roll a d6 on a 3 to 6. Place Agent Venom adjacent to a hit opposing character. He is traded with, guess what? Plasticity and shape change. He's got a special damage power on his first 2 clicks if you pay 75 points for him. If you pay 50 points for him, it's on his second click. Adjacent friendly characters can use shape change. Mike, Agent Venom.
Hey, like, I mean, there's some stuff there, and shape change is nice, and I like his call and help from me. So if you did actually play him on a Spider-Man Family team, you could get it.
Is that Admiral Akbar leaning over your shoulder?
Yeah, totally. I know. It feels like a lot of good stuff that you just don't want to bother with. 75 points is too overcosted for how easily he could be killed. 50 points, again, feels like, well, maybe because, he could call in, but it just... I don't know. I mean, the 50 point gets a sideways thumb, really, just because of Perplex, Spider-Man Family, Monster, Shield. I don't know. Maybe I just really like Agent Venom, and I'm trying to feel better about it.
All right. Tom?
No, I think that you're on the right track. I agree with actually everything you said. I think at 50 points he does just enough, especially with a 2/3 chance of popping next to an opposing or a friendly character and getting to help them out on the offense. Add it to well-protected Perplex. He's just enough, but he's not fantastic.
I'm gonna say this. Back to your meeting, guys. Agent Venom was in the Fantastic Four. What do we do? Control C, Control V. All right, cool.
Yeah, he feels exactly the same, even though he's not. Yeah. But
I know it's just they've figured out how to make Agent Venom. We get it, and I'm glad. Like for the fans of Agent Venom, I'm glad we get to keep seeing him. It's just like what is it? It's like Cannonball. We know. We get it.
Right. Exactly.
We are not surprised.
Hard to be excited about it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Hulk. This is the Amadeus Cho Hulk. He is playable at 150 or 40 points. You get the last 3 clicks on 40 points. Indomitable, Agents of Atlas, Avengers, Champions, Fantastic Four, Illuminati, Monster, Shield, and Scientist keywords. Ignores hindering for movement and walks through blocking and breaks it. We've seen this before on the Hulk once again. 4 Shield Beast Hunters. When Hulk is given a move action after resolutions, remove an action token from him, and he can use stealth. I don't know why I keep saying that. We know that trait. His second trait, the Totally Awesome Hulk, leap, climb, and super strength. His special defense power on click number 5 is stop and vulnerability, which is like just before the 40-point dial. And then the first 2 clicks of his 150 point and the first click of his 40-point dial get the 9th smartest now. Outwit, but Hulk may use it X times per turn, where X is 1 plus a number of opposing characters he's damaged this turn. All the clicks that he has have Quake, which is why that's kind of set up that way. Okay, so this is mine. I am more interested in the 40-point version because we go back to Karnak, and yes, okay, I have to be humbled. Maybe you're a little bit more right about Karnak. My mind has been changed. And we got 40 points with Outwit that could potentially outwit a bunch of characters. The problem is that you can't, unlike the other previous 50-point Hulk where we could leap, climb, and then Quake, you do have to use your charge. It is a 10 movement. He does ignore hindering. It kind of works on the way up there. Plus, he's stealthy. It's a stealthy Hulk. And how many times have we said, "My God, my Hulk is going to get shot out of the water"? Like, every time, right? We're so used to saying, like, Hulk's just going to get shot. Well, there's a chance now the Hulk might not get shot here, which is why I give him a little bit more points. He's got a lot of keywords that could use the 40-point include on an outwit. A monster keyword team could use that 40-point outwit for sure, because there's definitely a power that monster tends to be very lacking in. So I'm going to put him on a thumbs up, but a very, like, I'm going to put an asterisk beside it because it is very specific to very specific teams that he's going to be included, and I'm more or less looking at him in the 40-point dial myself. What about you, Tom?
I agree on all points. 40 points is a thumbs up to me. 150 is a thumbs down, though perfectly fun and casual. Yep. The only thing I would add is that he does create his own debris to stand in for that stealth with his ability to blast through blocking. So that's a small nod in his favor if you happen to be on a map where there's not a lot of available hindering. So that's nice.
Yep. Mike?
Plus, what's nice about that, too, is he could be in a position on the other side of a wall, come charging through a wall and quake a bunch of people and then do a whole bunch of outwitting. So it gives him another way of sort of protecting himself as he moves up the map. Definitely 40 points because it's so low-costed and what you get from that is potential. 150 is just, that's way too much.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Annihilus. Oh, God, I love this guy. Playable 175 or 125. Power Cosmic, 9 range with 3 targets. Armor, Cosmic, Monster, Negative Zone, Ruler keywords. Endless Resurrection is his first trait, or his only trait, sorry. Power, heal Annihilus equal to the number of negative energy tokens. Special defense power, which he has intermittent throughout the dial. Invincible, when this click is first revealed. Give Annihilus a negative energy token for the purpose of rules, so you understand, even if you blow past that click, you do get the energy token. It is just revealed as you go. His special damage power on his first 3 clicks at 175, or his first click, I believe it is, at 125. Yep. Gives him Outwit. When Annihilus is attacked, any positive modifiers of the attacker's attack value become negative. When Annihilus attacks a single character, any positive modifiers to the target's defense value become negative. This is Mike's? No, I just did Hulk, so it's Tom's.
Yeah,
it is, and I maybe it's just in the interest of time, but there's so much to say about this figure, and we went over it in great detail last week, so I'm not going to go into great detail this week. I am going to give him a very surprising thumbs up at 175 because I just think that he's a beastmaster. I think that he's in the realm of characters like Challenger or Nimrod for completely different reasons if I'm comparing to other 175-point figures. I think he can hang with them, and they've both had a small but not non-existent visibility within the scene. So he adds another option at that big power level. So one of the few I would actually consider trying out in that setting if I wasn't just sort of opposed to playing such high point pieces on principle.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I'm obviously much the same way. I've never had good luck with a tentpole type team, but Annihilus is the figure that I look at and I say, if I'm playing him, I have to play him at 175 points. I just think starting on that Impervious with pen side, it's too easy to get past it. Those special defense clicks aren't stop clicks. So I think he's way too easily killed at the 125. I think you have to go for it and play him at the 175 if you are, because of that invincible. But I am so afraid to. I hope I get a chance to try him in a competitive setting, but not an actual competitive game. How about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Practice meta.
Yeah. I'm going to experiment with him too. And it's worth mentioning, I've made the joke several times. Nobody comes to a tournament expecting to use the stats that they came with. But when you play against Nihilus, you have to. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to lose out at first. And we talked about it previously, that healing thing can repeat itself. Like, once you have the tokens, you can keep healing later and later and later. And just get yourself back up as you go, and maybe that other 125 points on your team is working for you. He's potent, and I want to take some considerations on him for sure. All right, next up, we have the Super Skrull, who we have a 3rd point value for now. He is playable at 100, at 75, or at 50. His 50-point dial is his last 4 clicks. Add 2 more for 75, and add 2 more for 100 points. Every single one of those starting lines has super senses, or shape change, to start, to easily identify them. I'm going to keep the 100-point up line. He's got the Skrull team ability, of course. Cosmic, Frightful Four, Skrulls, Soldier, and Warrior keywords. Powers of the Fantastic Four. At the beginning of your turn, choose 2. Super Skrull has a listed effects until your next turn. You can choose Invisible Woman, which gives you sidestep, stealth, barrier is free, but only to generate 1 marker. The Thing, which gives you charge, impervious, close combat expert. Mr. Fantastic, which gives you plasticity, super senses, and giant reach of 4. And the Human Torch, which gives you running shot, energy explosion, and a range of 6. So yeah, that's a Super Skrull. I think is this mine? Who got
Mike.
on that?
No, it's me.
It's Mike. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Mike. You got another Skrull to start.
Yes! Not a Skrull there! This is my other most wanted super rare. Obviously, I don't hide my love of Skrulls. How could I? Unlike Skrulls, who hide who they are. I love him, obviously.
Time.
I love him. He's a Skrull. He's got 3 different starting lines that are all great. Maybe he's not as exciting as that old zombie Super Skrull who can pick all the powers, but he's a really great representation. He's still got great power combos in there. The 3 different point values, plus we've already seen some amazing other Skrulls. While we were sitting here, I built a 300-point Skrull team with him at 100 points, Silver Surfer at 70 points, Skrull General at 30 points, 2 Skrull Warriors and 2 Skrull Infiltrators, and it's exactly 300 points. So I'm kind of in heaven of Skrullness, and I'm so happy we have another Super Skrull again. So thanks, Fizz Kids.
Yeah, I see that. Wait, looks like Jason's making his way back. But the only thing I would contribute is a thumbs up. I just think that you said it, and you said it well.
Yep, another thumbs up for me too. All right, next up we have Blastar. He's playable at 150 or 75. At 75, you lose the first 3 clicks. 8 range, 2 targets, power cosmic, Frightful 4, negative zone, ruler, warrior keywords. Is able to shoot while based. Forceful ruler Balor is his trait, which gives him force blast and super strength. Special movement power, concussive blast, flight. Charge, running shot, free, make a close attack. And then he's got a special attack power, intermittent threat to dial, first 2 clicks of both of the starting lines though. The living bomb burst, energy explosion. When he uses it, the characters Blastar originally targeted are dealt penetrating damage. So Blastar is... What's that?
It's you.
Yeah. So Blastar is cool, but I'm not all in on him. He's super situational, but he dies to penetrating damage. So when I consider the competitive metagame, penetrating damage just eats through the dial, which is problematic. He is outwit proof with the power cosmic, which is great. And the ability to make the fact that he can just always be doing knockback is also awesome. It's just energy explosion is so situational that I get less excited about him the more and more I look at him. So even at the 75-point dial, I don't think Blastar is going to be a figure that I personally play in the metagame. I'll put him sideways because there's potential there, but I personally, I'm not planning on playing Blastar in any teams. Tom?
Yes, you in the backs, please. Okay, just to confirm, so you want Trapster to be the same point value as Blastar? Yes, that's what we talked about. Okay, so Blastar's not going to be very good then. That's all I have to say. Yeah, I think you summed up really well, so I just thought I'd make a joke.
All right, Mike?
Yep.
All right. It's kind of on the negative train still towards the end of the super rares here. Doom 2099 Revolutionary. 7 range, 2 targets, minions of Doom and wildcard team abilities, 125 points, armor, future, Latveria, mystical, politician, ruler, shield, scientist, keywords. He's a title character with a single starting plot point. He takes a damage if he uses a plot ability and doesn't make an attack. When he's KO'd, and an opponent chooses a number of standard powers equal to the friendly characters on your friendly characters on the map. Characters on your force can't use those powers until your next turn. He's got a +0 Deposing Tiger Wild. Free, make an attack that deals 1 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. If the attack hits, gain 1 plot point. If the attack hit the highest point or tied opposing character on the map, instead gain 3 plot points. For -1, stealing the shipment as part of the Zephyro's resistance. Free, choose an adjacent opposing character. If they aren't equipped, they modify defense -2 this turn. Otherwise, unequip that character's equipment. -7, One Nation Under Doom. Free for the rest of the game. For each opposing character, the first time each turn that opposing character would be given a close range, move, or power action. You may roll a d6. On a 3-6, the character can't be given that type of action this turn. Tom, Doom 2099.
Sometimes you play games where you want to win, and sometimes you play games where you just want to play a really cool Heroclix figure that you probably thought you'd never actually see made. And he does all kinds of neat stuff, and you want to try to pull off his tricks, and you know you're probably not going to succeed, and you're okay with that because it's fun to play Doom 2099. I'm going to give him a big thumbs up for fun. That's not sarcasm, it's just being positive.
Yeah. Ending on a positive note. But what does that mean for the competitive game, Tom?
I think we all know what this means.
We all know what that means. Okay. Mike?
Yeah, hard pass. Hard pass.
Fun.
Yeah.
Doom 2099.
You had one.
I am not going to not play him. I'm definitely going to play him, but it's not going to be at a tournament. That's for sure.
He is one of the ones I most want to pull, just because it's so cool. Like, talk about a piece I never thought I'd see made. That's enough for me, you know?
Well, it's been made once.
Wow, that was before my time.
I would also rather play that one.
Yeah, totally. I would rather play that.
All right. Next up, the God Emperor Doom. Playable at 300, 200, or 100 points. So the last 4 clicks is his 200 point dial. He gains 4 more clicks for 200 points. And he is a full dial at 300 points. 9 range, Minions of Doom team ability, Power Cosmic team ability, Armor, Cosmic, Deity, Latveria, Mystical Ruler, Scientist, Battle World Other, Battle World Spider Island. I'll get into that in a second. Ignores hindering and can shoot in base for line of fire effects. He flies. Do you have an Infinity Gauntlet now? Free. Choose an opposing character within range and line of fire. That character can't use the effect of equipment until your next turn. God of Battleworld. When establishing themed teams, God Emperor Doom gains all Battleworld keywords. That was the joke I was getting at earlier. He has all of them. Battleworld Asgard, Battleworld Other, Battleworld whatever, man. Leadership.
Got a lot of great keywords.
Yeah.
Keep that going.
Leadership, Perplex, Colossal Stamina. When God Emperor Doom uses Perplex to target another character with a Battleworld keyword, you may instead modify a combat value except damage, +2 or -2. Special attack power intermittent throughout the dial. The Wrath of Doom cannot be ignored. Close, make a close attack. Other characters can't use powers during the attack. Note that does include your own characters, so careful. If you're planning on somebody else probbing and your own prob ain't working so well. And his special damage power in his last 2 clicks, you had to meddle, didn't you? Which is Stop, Battle Fury, Exploit Weakness. When this click is first revealed, remove all action tokens from God Emperor Doom. Mike.
I didn't think I was first. Okay. He's great. I mean, he's very cool. It's great that they gave us 3 different point values. It's great that they gave us a God Doom that's actually within the 300 point range, so we can actually play him in competitive if we want to. I think there's a lot of possibility, both if you want to go for the all out there 300 point version of him, especially with the kind of stats he has, that 20 defense. I would be resistant to that because I've never had good luck with dice, and I feel like that is the most amount of eggs in one basket. But the 200 and the 100 point version, wow, lots of great stuff there. I mean, the 100 point version is a running shot, 12 attack pulse waver who probs his own rolls, and he's got 2 stop clicks. So, wow, you get so much value at 100 points. You definitely got to consider that one. So, I give it almost like I give 1 thumb up for the 300, 2 thumbs up for the 200, and I give like 3 thumbs up for the 100.
All right, Tom?
Completely agree. I think he's awesome, is what I think.
All right. Yeah. He gets a resounding 3 thumbs up, 1 for each of the dials. I love him.
Yeah.
He is my number 1 want for the set. It might be, I don't know. There might be a reason. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I might be a fan of the character. All right. Next up, Sue Storm. 6 range, 2 targets, Fantastic Four, Minions of Doom, team abilities, 100 points. She's indomitable and she flies. Battle World Other, Fantastic Four, Latveria, Ruler keywords, ignores hindering for line of fire. Form the new Fantastic Four trait on this one as well. Mercy at the left hand of Doom. Barrier as free, but only to generate 2 markers. Sue Storm may use her displayed attack and damage powers as if she occupied a square of her barrier markers. Queen of Battle World, leadership and perplex. When Sue uses perplex to target another character with a Battle World keyword, you may instead modify a combat value except for damage by +2 or -2. So, Sue adds to this already great Battle World Doom kind of combination that exists here. Like, you can play all 4 of the Battle World Doom family for 300 points if you play Doom at 100, Sue Storm at 100, and then you play some future characters we're going to talk about later. And as part of that, I love it, because you got the Battle World +2 with Perplex. Everything about this Sue it screams great support character. Even though it's 100 points of a character, it's a support. We talked about this in the past, where it's like, even though it's, it is a support character you're paying 100 points for, it's a support character who also adds to your damage levels, because she can bring it as well. Her ability to barrier and use TK from the barrier square is huge. The fact that she can generate 2 barrier markers. I think we saw this during one particular metagame where it was like a must-have, spend 10 points, 2 points of barrier. Guess what? That's obnoxious as heck. We know how that works. So, long and short of it, she gets a thumbs up for me. I mean, the chases are so good in this set. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this when we talked about her before, but the fact that she can perplex up her own range to 7 and gain a 14 swing outwit is just insane. She's awesome. She's a great, in the early part of the game, she's support and she's protection, and then she's got the stats to play mop up as the game goes on. What more do you want for 100 points? Big thumbs up.
Mike?
Yeah, on top of that, with that whole barrier power, she can see around corners and stuff, She could be in a position where she can see the 6 or 7 to put up her barrier somewhere, and now that barrier could see around a wall or up a hallway or something like that. So a lot of versatility to that. A lot of just so much to unpack at 100 points. Such an interesting figure. And just like Jason already said, all the chases in this set are fantastic.
Yeah. I'm going to just add on to, she's protectable by Doombot.
Yeah, Barrier and Ruler.
All right, next up we have Valeria Von Doom. 6 range, 30 points, Minions of Doom team ability, Battle World Other, Fantastic Four, Latveria, Runaways, and Scientist keywords. Hunting anomalies from other worlds is her first trait. Free, roll a d6 and place Valeria Von Doom up to that many squares away. When an opposing character is placed within 4 squares and lines of fire, after resolutions, deal them 1 penetrating damage. Finding out the truth about Father is the next trait. When a friendly character KOs an opposing character of lower points than them, give Valeria Von Doom an action token that does not deal pushing damage. And her special damage power across her 4 clicks, Leadership Perplex. When Valeria Von Doom uses Leadership and succeeds, choose a friendly character within 4 squares in line of fire. That character can use Outwit until your next turn. Mike?
Hey.
Oh, no, sorry, Tom. You get Valeria.
It's a tremendous thumbs up for reasons I think are probably pretty obvious. Yeah. 30 points for Leadership Perplex and a 1 in 3 chance of Outwit as well is in and of itself an unbelievable deal. The ability to move around for free just heightens it. And remember that the opposing character within 4 squares placement effect with damage, although you immediately think of things like Colossal Retaliation, remember that Spin Ring is the same way, Knockback is the same way. There are a whole number of different things that involve placing characters, and in combination with a 30-point Valeria Von Doom, she could just be handing out mad damage. She is likely kind of compromising herself to do so, but it may be worth it if you can get enough free damage out. Anyway, she's only 30 points for everything she's bringing to the table, so what do you want? She's crazy.
Mike?
Yeah, I mean, Tom nailed it there with the 30 points and the fact that within 4 square thing is stackable, right? So you move somebody within 4 squares and do them penetrating, knock them another square within 4 squares, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? There's ways to manipulate that. She's only 30 points already with Leadership Perplex. And we just saw 2 other chases who have Latveria, who have Battle World Other, who you can be building with, and she fits in there nicely. Holy cow.
One of which has a 14 square TK to place nearby to knock him down.
Yep. Also, let's talk about the fact that I believe it's Carry. Carry is placed. Knockback is placed.
Yep.
TK is placed.
TK is placed. Lots of other things.
Spin Ring is placed. Like,
it's crazy.
It's so crazy. Like, you can get a combination of powers. It just go boink, 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 boink,
Yep.
and all of a sudden, Valeria Von Doom's done like 3 clicks of damage to somebody, and you don't know what happened with your life. All right.
Nothing of the fact that, like, and not for nothing, she can perplex up her damage to 3, outwit their defense, and attack them with a 10. That's not bad for 30 points either.
Exactly. All right. Next up, Franklin Von Doom. 70 points, 9 range with 2 targets, Minions of Doom team ability, Battle World Other, Cosmic, Fantastic Four, and Latveria keywords. My thoughts and desires come to fruition. Free, choose one. If 5 or less of Franklin Von Doom's generated terrain markers are on the map, generate a terrain marker hindering water or blocking in an adjacent square, or remove all terrain markers except debris from a square within range and line of fire. Special attack power on his first 3 clicks, incapacitate and telekinesis. Special defense power on his last 2 clicks. Want to save yourself some trouble? Give up. Stop. Power cosmic, colossal, impervious. Special damage power on his first 3 clicks, reality warp, probability control, outwit, but only when Franklin Von Doom occupies a terrain marker. Now it's Mike's turn. Franklin Von Doom.
Another one. I mean, this set is just crazy balls for these chases. 70 points, the TK, manipulating the map with terrain, 2 insanely juicy stop clicks where all of a sudden he's this colossal with a 13 attack, pen, psi, 5 damage, double target, 9 range. Like, wow. Oh, and he's only 70 points.
He may also get Flurry if Wolverine hits.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine that Flurry?
Oh my god!
The 13-5 Flurry.
my
Sidestep,
God.
giant reach. What's up?
Yeah.
Thanks for hitting, buddy. Oh, you're a bud.
Just nuts. Just nuts. Obviously, thumbs up. Huge thumbs up. Colossal size thumbs up.
Tom?
Agreed.
Yeah.
He may not be quite the steel that Valeria is, but he's a very worthy 70 points.
Absolutely agree. All right, next up, the Maker. 100 points, 6 range, Indomitable, Cabal, Revengers, Scientist keywords. Ignores hindering from movement and line of fire. Ultimate Elastic Body is his first trait. Plasticity, Super Senses, Giant Reach 4. When Maker attacks characters he targets, modified defense -1 for each team ability they can use. His next one, I've been making some new tools, Outwit and Perplex. When Maker hits, after resolutions, generate a token that is a copy of an equipment object that's equipped to a hit opposing character. That object has max 1 for each object named and isn't scored. His special damage power in his first 2 clicks, Splitting Myself Apart, which is Shape Change, Power, generate a Maker 2 bystander, which gives a max of 1. The Maker 2 bystander, 8 movement with plasticity, 11 attack with psychic blast with a 6 range on it, Indomitable with 18 defense, super senses, and special damage power. Maker may use Outwit, Perplex, and probability control as if he occupied this square. So whatever square Maker 2's in, that's the one you can use Outwit, Perplex, and probability control from. Maker is another cool 100 points. It's just good. He's got a lot of things working for him. He's traded with super senses. He's got shape change to start, so he's got the double rollout to start. If you don't get through the double rollout, now you got Mastermind to pass the damage on to Maker 2. You need to critically hit this guy to get through this wall of crap. And then he's like, on certain teams, if you make your team to work with him, all of a sudden you're taking your opponent's equipment, and which is going, that was a nice ring. It's mine now. I'm gonna make one if you don't mind. Or that was if you can get it's not the keynote. It's probably not a good way to base your team around, but it's a bonus that if you can pull it off, it'll work. A giant reach of 4 is huge as well. This guy's primed for so many possible equipment options that he doesn't even have to bring. So, I do give the maker a thumbs up for all the awesome that he does bring. Aurelio Domicio, good job. Tom?
I agree. I think everything that you've said is right, and I think he's a thumbs up. The caveat, I really miss sidestep on this piece, since I'm pretty sure you can't generate in your own square, and that is not going to make it super easy if you want to equip your opponent's thing, because if you hit them, you presumably had to take an action to do that. He doesn't have a lot of ways of doing that for free. So you've taken your action to hit, then you generate the object, then you somehow have to either get it underneath you, or waste a turn moving, and then you have to waste a turn clearing before you can finally get to equipping it. So I really miss sidestep, but that doesn't change the fact that I think he's real good for 100 points.
Mike?
Yeah, it's too bad. If he was maybe a little less points, you could be thinking of him dropping that object next to him for a friend to pick up.
Oh, sure.
But at 100 points, it does feel a bit like, I wish it was him who was getting it. So, yeah, I kind of agree with Tom. It would be nice to have the sidestep, but very cool version of the Maker. I was excited to see this figure in the set. I think they did a really good job representing him. And I think you have to consider him as having some potential in the meta with everything he does, with having that bystander, with how hard it is to actually kill him. And he would go really well with a whole bunch of scientists.
Yeah. All right, next up, we have Reed Richards, Fixer of Universes. This is one Tom turned me around on when we actually first looked at him. Anyway, 4 range, Fantastic Four team ability, 60 points. He's also a title character, so you can't use him with Doom 2099. That was me being cheeky. Fantastic Four, Illuminati, and Scientist keywords. He starts with 0 plot points. When he does an attack, if he uses a plot ability, deal him 1 unavoidable damage. When he's KO'd, generate a Molecule Man bystander in an opponent's starting area that's friendly to their force. So if he dies, they get a Molecule Man. We'll talk about Molecule Man in a minute. Is +1, no more superheroics for a while, just science. Free, outwit, perplex until your next turn. At the end of your turn, heal Reed Richards, Fixer of Universes, 1 click if he targeted 1 or more opposing characters with outwit or perplex this turn. +0, uncovering the real source of Doom's power. Free, if Reed Richards, Fixer of Universes, occupies an opponent's starting area, generate a Molecule Man bystander max 1. -1, convincing Owen to unwrite Victor's Twisted Reality. Free, if Reed Richards, Fixer of Universes, is adjacent to Molecule Man, roll a d6. Deal that much unavoidable damage to the lowest point character on an opponent's force you choose if there's a tie. Tom, you turned me around on it. Schmooze. Go for it, buddy.
He would be my number 1 want from this set. I really like Secret Wars. It was bloated, but cool in that way that Hickman has the ability to do things like that. And I really enjoyed the whole climactic point. This is the Reed of that universe that basically fixes the Marvel Universe, and I think that's awesome. And I do think that this piece is really good. What we talked about it before stands, which is that there's an awful lot of text on this piece that I don't think you really need to be pushing towards. I mean, there's this implied idea that with title characters, or with really any character that has a lot of traits and special powers, there should be a desire to try to use as much of it as possible, and a lot of their value is tied up in it. In the case of this Reed, I don't think that that's quite entirely fully true. Like, I think that it is cool if the game works in such a way that it is viable for you to get into your opponent's starting area, create a Molecule Man, and then start doing free damage. I mean, that's nuts. That's awesome. That's great. But it's gravy, and it's gravy that you don't need to focus on, because when I look at this piece, I just see great value for 60 points. Leadership, outwit, and perplex. He's not taking that damage, or I guess he's healing it back anyway. As long as he's using his outwits and perplexes, even if he's not making attacks, so that makes him pretty viable as far as I'm concerned. He also has a nice deep dial for the point that goes up. His defenses just go up and up towards the end. He can heal back with Fantastic Four, and he can heal back, keeping in mind that if he does make attacks and uses his Whip Perplex effect, then he can heal himself back that way. So he's got his own version of a healing effect in conjunction with everything else he's got, and just outstanding value for the points. So a lot of people are kind of down on this piece. I've seen a lot of criticism of it, like on Realms and just around, and that's too bad. I agree that he doesn't look a lot like your classic Mr. Fantastic. I mean, where's the Blasticity? But I think that he's really cool, and I really would like him, so he's a thumbs up from me.
Mike?
Yeah, I actually have to give him a thumbs up as well, because I think there is value there, like Tom said. The leadership is nice to have. He's at least low enough points that I don't feel like I've sort of given up too much. Being able to leap climb 11 into a position and then use Outwit and Perplex is great. And like he said, it's going to compensate. You're going to be getting plot point tokens and healing back any damage you take for not making attacks with him because of using title abilities. So there's a lot there. There's a lot of value for that. Again, Fantastic Four, he could be on the sideline as part of her thing. Can Title start on the sideline? There's nothing that prevents that, right?
They can't replace.
Can't be replaced. That's it. I thought there was some reason why they couldn't do it. So sadly, he can't be part of that. But still, there's a lot of value there. And just like the guys have said before, we said on previous episode, just ignore the Molecule Man thing. If you find yourself in that place, awesome. But don't be gearing anything towards it. It's like Tom said, it's gravy. It's like an extra bonus on there. It's like a free meal at a place you were already going to anyway. Like if it happens, it's great, but don't rely upon it. But you could still get a lot of value out of this 60-point figure with leadership, perplex, and outwit on a scientist team if you want. Like a lot of stuff there.
It's what we define as a win more strategy. It's like you're already winning,
right.
Just do it a little harder. And yeah, I'm not gonna pig pile more. Tom turned me around on him. The Molecule Man's a trap, but Perplex and Outwit is not a trap. And if your opponent has a bunch of characters that are protected Outwit, just negative Perplex on your opponent's defense 9 times out of 10 has actually got a little bit more value, especially if it's a keynote target. So, all worth mentioning. There's one more figure I want to talk about before we wrap this all up, and it is the prize figure number 100, the other Mole Man. He is 4 range, the Underworld team ability. He's 50 points, so 10 less than the other one. Infinity Watch, Monster, Ruler, Scientist keywords, ignores hindering from movement. Underground Empire is his first trait. Stealth, Phasing Teleport. When Mole Man uses Phasing Teleport, generate a hindering terrain marker in the square he began and ended his move in. His other one, Crawl of the Underground Army. Other friendly characters with the Monster keyword have ignore hindering terrain from movement and free move 1 square. And then special attack power, Figments of a Mad Nightmare. Incapacitate. Incapacitate is free, but only to target a character adjacent to 2 or more characters. This goes to Mike to wrap it all up. Mike, the prize Mole Man.
I like him a lot, actually. I think he's pretty neat. I like him better than the other Mole Man. A lot of interesting traits there. Definitely very beneficial. A free move of 1 square is huge. I remember a time when I thought, sidestep, that's never going to be important. Yeah, well, clearly I was wrong about that one. So here's another free move 1 square for a whole bunch of monsters. Giving them ignoring, hindering from moving is great. He's got Underworld, so he can carry some monsters with him with his stealth and his phase teleport. He's got leadership, so I think there's a lot of value in this Mole Man.
Yep. Tom?
I think you're absolutely right, and I like the fact that the Moloids are tiny, so he can carry them even without Underworld. But he sure can. So by all means, grab a couple Moloids. He's carrying his Mastermind Fodder with him as he phases over, and as long as he's next to somebody and drops the Moloids next to them, then he's guaranteed to be able to get that free incapacitate. So that's a great little 1-2-3 punch, and he's not that easy to deal with as long as the Mastermind Fodder is there and he's standing in his own stealth. So there's a lot to like here for 50 points, I think. Yeah. I like him quite a bit more than the other one.
Plus, look what he does for Wendigo.
Yeah, because Wendigo's needed more free movement, right?
Right?
I hate that.
Yeah. This guy is scary, and it's once you've used nimble and sidestep, or in a lot of cases, characters are going to get both courtesy of this guy on Monster Team. You start to realize that 1 to 3 squares of free movement is scary, because that feels like motoring that's not taking an action token. So I'm a fan of this one definitely over the other one. I'm gonna agree on that one for sure. But overall, it's a great set. Fantastic Four is looking like a lot of cool stuff.
If we gave any real thumbs down there that rubbed anyone the wrong way or whatever, keep it in mind, we're just trying to be like vicious critics of what may or may not show up in a potential metagame, and there's still tons of that in this set. Very playable set.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is a lot of times when we say it's a thumbs down, there could be a combination that exists external that fits that figure into one team. We kind of look at it a broad spectrum on each of these characters. So don't get down if we get down on a character you think is really good. It could still be very good. It's just that at base value, sans a certain number of considerations, it's not widely great. And it's not a constant include, right? So
we could also be wrong. That has happened. Way many times.
I distinctly want to... Mike wasn't here for it, but do we remember just absolutely dumping on Felix Faust?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this thing's terrible. What's it going to do? Whatever. It's not a consideration. Ruined the game.
Hey, look at PJ and Unseen.
Yeah.
That's right, PJ. Never letting you live it down.
That's true. That one time, he was entirely right.
I want to go back and look.
There's like one tick in the mic column, and then there's just like 150 ticks in the PJ column.
PJ will beat me any day of the week, but not on that.
Mike is standing next to the chalkboard pointing at that one tick.
It's like, but you didn't beat me all the time.
I'm getting a shirt made for the next time I see him.
Just remember, his points divided by million, or divided by 0 is infinite. It breaks the calculator. But divided by 1, now he's limited, son.
That's it. Love it.
All right. That said, let's move to the questions. We're going to try to blast through these as quick as we possibly can, because it's almost 12:30. All right. So I apologize if this comes off as super quick. But Dark Horse meta piece coming from Rick Ryan. He wants to know, what do you think is the Dark Horse meta piece? Mike jokingly commented in Facebook, claw. You troll.
I'm going to stand by title read. I think he is a Dark Horse because I don't think that very many people like him, but I think that he is pretty playable.
Fair enough. Mike?
Oh, man, I don't know the answer to that question.
You don't have to have the answer. What do you think it is? What's something everybody else dumped on but you that you're like,
I don't know if there was anything, honestly. I don't think my opinions were that far off. Maybe people aren't looking at that prime Silver Surfer as much as I am. I don't know.
Yep.
Scrolls.
Scrolls!
I just want to say right now, I'm going to say Dragon Man right now, just in case the Fancy Dan thing works out.
Go for it. Yeah, make it happen.
All right. Next up, Mike's under arrest. Derek... Oh, I'm going to screw this up. Derek Benedict. I don't need to talk about this on the show, but are you guys available in a podcast form? No, we're not. I haven't gone through the effort of creating a audio-only version. Maybe one day if I find... maybe I'll make it a patron thing. It's just like making patron goals. Like, here, now I'm incentivized. But honestly, it's just something I don't have the time to do because... Even though the live shows don't take that much work to kind of go up to YouTube and that's it, they're done. My computer's already kind of having a lot of trouble running all the things that I have to run to do it. And then when I'm editing like the actual recorded content, that's hours of my life just gone. For every 45 minutes you guys watch, I'm talking like 3 to 4 hours of editing for me. So, sorry guys, that's just not on the books right now. Maybe in the future. I've said it 1,000 times. I don't think I'm ever going to make it happen, but I won't say I'll never do it. All right. Michael Fedor has a couple questions. If you have time, I would like to ask another we're going to start with this first question. Based upon the pieces that have been previewed, do you think that this Fantastic Four set will be a good popper-friendly set? I'll probably be asking again after you all get a chance to get your hands on some. I mean, just stuff that's legal in popper. Nothing really stood out to me. Firestorm kind of stands out to me as popper. That's one that kind of stands out to me. Tom?
I think it's pretty. Pauper is common and uncommon, right?
Common and uncommon. Yeah, that's why I said
Yeah.
Firestorm. Fire
Yeah,
Lord. Sorry, Fire Lord. Ah.
Fine. Yes, I think it'll be okay. I think it'll give some good contributions to Pauper. I think that there's a good Punisher. There's the Invisible Woman to rebuild Fantastic Four teams. There's a few good things. There's potent scrolls, etc.
Mike?
Yeah, obviously, I was gonna mention Skrulls and even Moloids are nice. I think that 60-point common Black Panther is pretty great. I think there's definitely lots of potential stuff here in Pauper. And remember that Doctor Doom, he's uncommon.
Not as good as X-Men animated, but
No.
But X-Men Animated has its own effect on the Pauper metagame right now. Michael Frater also wants to know the Free Comic Book Day 2020 piece was a White Widow, Black Widow. Since most stores canceled their Free Comic Book Day during all the stuff going on, it's always the first weekend of May. Do I need to acquire her in the secondary market, or should I let her pass by? Okay, well, he's got an eBay listing. I'm going to pull up the price just to see how much that this person particularly wants for it. I've seen them go for like $5 to $10. $6.75 is not a terrible price. It adds on to the Shifting Focus collection if you really want to get...
she's the Shifting Focus, right?
Yeah. So, what do you think, Mike? I'm going to let you go.
I haven't really got to look at the dial enough to really know, but if you're considering using Black Widow and you're considering Shifting Focus, then you should look into getting her, but don't break the bank on it. I mean, I saw somebody who had a picture of like 6 or 7 of them that they were selling. I don't think you should spend more than like $10-15 maybe.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. All right. This next one, bit of a personal one, so bear with me here. Aaron Young, Jason, what are you planning on playing in round 3 of the Critical Clicks Kilted Classic? And what do you think the strengths and weaknesses of this team? Aaron is my opponent, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it right now. My team is going. So yeah, that's the team, and some.
Har.
And some of the big weaknesses I think happen to be. So there's some of the strategies you can use against my team, and I hope that it really helps to make a really good game, a really awesome battle, and good luck to you, Aaron.
Very, very smarmy. Well done.
You know what? I'm doing something that George Massey did just before Worlds one year. He was on Glass Cabinet and he was interviewing him, and George, they were talking about team builds and everything like that. And George's like, "All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what my build is," and then he disconnected from the Skype call.
He's all right.
It was funny. It was very clever. But you'll see what the team is tomorrow evening. I believe you said we were gonna play, so make sure you show up for it. It's not very. It's a weird I'm gonna say this. It's a weird combination of both being very Jason, but also not very Jason. Tom, I think you guys know what I'm playing.
I don't. So
Okay.
anyway,
That means you guys don't pay attention to that chat. All right, onwards to the Discord, which is our patron-only Discord. So if you want to check out that, patreon.com/Heroclix. Any little bit of support helps to go the long way. All right. Nothing that looked like any questions in the Discord. So we moved to the chat. A couple of them came out. Ethan Beck pointed out that Outwit is the same excuse as using dice for removal of magic. It doesn't feel as a real valuation. Yes and no, because it does exist in the metagame. You do have to take into consideration. And there are characters that do ignore Outwit, but also will have less of an effect on themselves on Outwit. So I don't think it's on equal pairing. I think Pulse saying, "Oh my god, it dies to Pulse Wave," that's the same thing as, "Oh my god, it dies to removal of magic." But Outwit, less so.
What? I didn't quite catch the statement.
The statement was that, so there's an old phrase in Magic the Gathering. It sucks because it dies to removal. That's just a standard of Magic. There's things that don't die to it, and it happens in our game too. It's not really. I think Outwit isn't on that level. Pulse Wave is more on that level. It's like everything dies to Pulse Wave. Yeah, okay, we get it. Like, I stopped saying that, and I yell at Jay every time he says it too. It's like, yes, everything dies to Pulse Wave, just not a consideration.
Yeah, it is a fair point. I think that when we look at things, we have a tendency to view it through the lens of expecting a lot of Outwit, because I think that that's what we would expect to see in the meta moving forward, especially. But it is a fair point that maybe we come down a bit hard on pieces just because of their Outwit vulnerability.
Anyway, next up, what's your Sleepy Cat Zero wants to know what's your favorite figure from the set, Mike?
I think I gotta go with that. Actually, that Prime Silver Surfer, because he's a Skrull, and I can't believe I'm getting a 70-point Skrull who can do a lot of great stuff for 70 points, and it's crazy to me. I really never expected that figure in the set, so it surprised me, and I'm excited, and yeah.
Tom?
It's a bit of a dead heat between the EarthX thing and the Chase title, Mr. Fantastic.
Doom. In all forms, but mostly the God Emperor Doom is the one that really stands out to me.
$20.99.
Oh yeah, definitely. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, by far the finest piece of figure. If I accidentally find something that works with that, we're doing a Take Backsy episode.
Hey, you can play him with Doombots.
Doombots, Papa Doombots.
Because he has Latveria and Ruler, right? He does have Latveria and Ruler, that one?
He does, yeah. He really does.
Cool. I'm just pulling up a figure just to double check something, because somebody asked a question that was... I think I know the answer, but I want to be absolutely sure. All right. But it is William Allen. Can you use that Punisher with the Prime Punisher War Machine saturate? So it's not going to be the Prime Punisher from Fantastic Four, because we're talking about a Prime being used with a Prime. That breaks the Prime rule. You can't have two Primes on your team, even if you're including on the sideline. But to be absolutely sure, the Punisher War Machine had a trait that allowed you to sideline a Punisher. Oh, it's not on here. Why is it... Clixnexus... Oh, no, it's 5 points. The man inside is a real machine. During force construction, you may include a character named Punisher of 75 points or less on your sideline. When Punisher War Machine would be KO'd, instead replace him with that Punisher on its last click and then roll a d6 and heal that Punisher half the result. This game, that Punisher can't be healed any other way. Protected Pulse Wave. So, yes, you can use that 30-point Punisher because of the rules of this game, and that because it's named Punisher... and it's 75 points or less. You can pay 5 points. Your War Machine becomes the 30.4 click Punisher with Flurry Battle Fury.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know if that's better, but it's an option.
Nobody's asking as to the whys. They're always asking is can you? Science doesn't bother to ask if they should, just if they could. All right. Hey, Chris Stockhouse is in there, but he doesn't have a question. He's in the chat. It's good to see you, Chris. It's been a while. Still have your stamp somewhere over here. There it is. It's holding some tokens. Oh, baby. Still got the stamp.
Right.
We need the questions, Chris. We need the questions back so I can start using the stamp again. I missed the stamp. I got a new place for the clipboards and everything. All right. Anyway, that's it for the episode today. Tom, Mike, thank you guys for trudging it out. We're going to disconnect immediately after this episode. I don't blame you if we do. I don't even blame you if we do it on our in the outro while I'm saying this. Thank you guys for hanging in. It's 12:38. Time to wrap this up. Thanks to our sponsors, MajesticCCG.com. Check out the Apex Insiders, $3 a month. Super smart people. A lot smarter than I am right now, for sure. Write articles on the game. And they're really good at the game. $3 a month. It's worth the brain dumps. Check out the Majestic site anyway. Even if you're not an Apex Insider, there's a lot of updates on the site. They also run a Bronze Age event, which is, a good way to run your more Golden Age stuff. So take a look at that. Also, check us out at patreon.com/Heroclix if you want to support us directly. We appreciate anybody who jumps on in there. You get access, at all valuations, you get access to our Discord and early access to our recorded content. There should be a video coming up sometime this week. So keep your eyes open for that. But guys, it's the Monday before Fantastic Four comes out. It's out on Wednesday. Go get your stuff. get those figures on a table with somebody you're close to or with a mask on in a public place and get some practice in. Because practice will make those new Fantastic Four teams better. Have a good night, everybody.